your dogs, swab the decks and hoist the sails. The guns on board be needing some proper manning. Pieces of 8 and a fine wench on your arm, if your work be not too shoddy. Careful not to flounder too badly, though, or you may have to dance the hempen jig as we see you to Davy Jones. Jeffy, my boy, on with the show.
Welcome, everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to yet another weekly edition of Pirate Radio Podcast. It's our Friday night weekend feature show. This go round, of course, for those who have been keeping an eye on what we've got going in the description end of things, episode 328 with Sonia Galactec. I, of course, am your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jappy Ryder. Before we get to her bio information, let us remind you that WPRPN.com is a website you'll want to drop by and take a look at. Sign up is free. All you simply need is a username, password, and email. From there, everything should be pretty much straightforward. If you do happen to run into any problems along the way, do not hesitate in getting back to us via our main email address. That, as always, of course, simply pirate1radio@protonmail.com. That's pirate, the numeral 1, radio@protonmail.com. We'll take whatever steps are necessary, helping us smooth things over, get you sailing off in just the sort of direction you hope to be. Be sure as well to take a few moments to check out the show description end of things. We have a Teespring presence, TeePublic as well, where a number of, well, it's one item in design in particular, which proved to be a little too hot for Teespring to handle. So we had to go with a more pro-free speech merch platform, and that, for the present time at least, is TeePublic. People will know, get a clearer sense of what the deal is once they click on the link. We've also a Patreon account and content that we offer via patreon.com. Joining us is connecting and, managing to become part of the wider network really is no cost whatsoever. When it comes to Patreon, the way we have things set up, it's a kind of per item basis is the way things are in place. But if you just want to drop by and see how things are evolving, that is completely free of charge. And it's kind of like the way the email list works, basically. If you do reach out to us via pirate1radio@protonmail.com, whether in support of the PayPal donation end of things, or you want to suggest guests for the show, you've got some ideas that you'd like to see us work with, it's completely up to you. We're all ears, as always, of course. So other than all of this, I think it's probably best just to remind people, liking, commenting, sharing, remembering to hit subscription, notification buttons wherever you happen to find them across social media. Very helpful when it comes to little independent underground live streaming pirate operations, such as what we have to offer here. Really powerful stuff. And of course, as always, passing word along to friends, family, and co-workers. Oh, yes. And let's not forget hashtag WWRHD. What would Robin Hood do? Half of everything we do manage to generate as far as donations and the like are concerned goes directly back to the grassroots. Big shout out to Bob Dub. Speaking of people who are actively engaged in helping to keep the show on the road here with a very generous minds.com token offering recently. It's actually, I think she's got locked in to work on a monthly basis actually. So, you know, a very solid supporter and patron of what we've got on the go here. Could not say enough good things about Bob Dub out of New Zealand. And I'm pretty sure that a few of our listeners will know who it is that we're talking about when we do uh, mention her. So, alrighty then, to Sonia Galactec's bio. And let's not forget, yes, as compared to the past few weeks, we have managed to resolve these nagging health issues, mostly bronchial laryngitis related. So it's good to see that we're back again here, ready to roll and in top fighting form. Professional tattoo artist, UFO experiencer, and online merchant, Phoenix, Arizona's Sonia Galactec is with us here this week in the pirate hot seat, launching her Viking Spirit Tattoo shop around 15 years ago. She's long had an affinity for all things paranormal and otherworldly. Conceptually connecting to expanded awareness, Sonia aims to reach beyond matrix programming and spark our spiritual fires of awakening. Currently, she's designing kick ass, mind expanding t shirts while busy working on a WordPress merchandise website. Someone who loves to write, she tells us there's also a newsletter in the works and may even have a really far out blog coming soon. So we've got a handful of her social media URLs available via the show description end of things. Do be sure to drop by and take a look at those. Her email address as well, we have added for people that would like to reach out and contact her. But in the meantime, let's extend a hearty Robin Hood pirate welcome to via the Phoenix, Arizona region, from what we understand. Sonia Galactec. How's that Skype working, Sonia? Did everything seem to be pretty
Yeah,
much?
it seems to be working pretty good, I think,
There
so
we
far.
go. Excellent.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So, well, hey, thanks for this is the sort of thing that happens when people hang out in the chat end of things, whether you know YouTube or D Live or elsewhere. We happen to live stream across social media when we put these shows together. So, uh, you were actually following our show for, I think, when did you first connect? I think it was last year, as a matter of fact. We saw you around the
Yeah, I
logo.
don't remember really connecting so much, but I do remember popping in and checking it out, and a couple of times, and I think I even went to the website, and then I didn't. So I always had you guys kind of on the feed there, and anyway, it's kind of a longer story, but so I noticed that you guys were up in a couple of times. The week before I came in, there was a topic that I wasn't really into, but and then this time I came in, I was just like, whatever, I don't even care. I'm just going to come in and say hi. And you guys were very nice and very inviting.
Ah, oh, good.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
stuff. And that was during the news, I guess, as I
I
recall.
think so. Something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
Yeah.
and we do have your you did in the lead up to things here send us a number of memes that you've been collecting over, I guess, the past number of years, some of your
Yeah.
artwork and other items here. So, um, we will get you on camera here momentarily, but and intermittently kind of transition back and forth between that. There's a really good shot of you there, and look at that tattoo work. That is incredible. Lots of ink, definitely. So, well, and maybe that's the best place of
Thank
that
you.
we could start. Yeah. So, Phoenix, Arizona, around 15 years or so, I guess. Is that right? You've been working as a professional tattoo artist.
Yeah, well, I've been doing tattoos for years and years, since like 94 or something like that, since
Hmm.
a long time ago. And but I didn't get into doing them until I uh, like professionally, until I came out here back to Arizona. So professionally, it's been since like 2007, I think. So
I see. Okay,
yeah,
I'm just checking.
that's so funny.
I'm just checking out the comments section here.
Yeah.
Uh, Bonsoir, Jeffy. Thanks, Fred. Great to connect and have you drop in via Facebook. We've got Roger Hansen as well
Mhm.
too, who I think I'd reference him earlier in the lead up to just the audio tech check end of things. One of your biggest fans, it seems. Uh, so it'd be interesting to see where this whole thing leads.
He's like my only fan, I think.
Well, yeah. Oh, you're probably. I'm sure you'll pick up a few more here
I
along the
told
way.
some of my friends, I was gonna be on like a pirate radio show,
Oh yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, that's great," and that was it. Like, okay, all right, that's. We'll see you later then. Bye.
Okay. Yeah.
My
Well.
family too. It's like I feel like Jesus when he like nobody in Bethlehem or wherever it was like knew him. They're like, oh, that's just Jesus.
Yeah.
He does that all the time.
Yeah.
It's
Isn't
like,
that
what the
just the carpenter's son? Yeah.
wow?
That's
It's
right.
crazy how like away from every. I mean, not everyone, but for all I know, I could be like everybody around me could be NPCs, and I would not be surprised. I'd be like, "Oh, that's kind of what I thought." Explains a lot, actually. But
Yeah. Yeah. That whole NBC thing. Now you might. I don't know what you're gonna make of all this, but I was reflecting upon that. Why is the camera not coming on? Let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure what that's all about. So I guess we
I don't know.
forgot to hang on just a second. We're gonna get you on. There we go. So I think that should work. Get this. There we go. Perfect. Get the OBS out of the way. So
So flattering.
yeah. Well, even after all these years, we still monkey around, and it
Yeah.
takes a little bit to get things uh, really rolling along here the way that so that we're on the right footing, basically. But uh, yeah,
Well,
what?
you're the captain, so I'm following you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You really have no choice in the matter here.
No, that's right.
Yeah. I
Here.
kind of like it, actually. I think I haven't been with a man in a while, so you'll have to just kind of, go.
Oh my God.
Seriously, though, you know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
even
No,
kidding.
actually, I don't because it's
Woo!
you could read into that, read that on a few different levels, I
Right.
guess.
Well,
You know,
then you probably do know at least one of them.
right? Yeah, the biblical sense, I guess, having known somebody, but as it was the wife and I, our our conjugal, what is it that we don't monthly strategic planning sessions. That's the closest we really get to
You mean like a meeting?
to really to intercourse for the most.
Intercourse.
Yeah. But it's the closest monthly strategic.
Strategize during that time too.
Yeah, it's like no,
what?
we get together. It's like okay, monthly strategic planning sessions, and that's best we can do these days.
Your date for conjugal, whatever. You strategize and you plan.
I'm trying. That's like maybe I think that was a joke that kind of maybe went over.
That says a lot. That says a lot about it. And you know what? You why not? When else are you supposed to strategize and plan? You have to at least like have some, a calm time.
Yeah.
Some fun.
No, that was a joke that went over your head, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
No, but yeah.
It went over my head and down the street, and then like it started cruising like a van by.
Yeah.
It looked kind of like a hippie van.
So you're there. You're actually situated right now. You've got I think we do hear a little bit of that. The Mexican.
They are jamming out, man.
Now, is it live music or they just have their stereo?
It's live music. Yeah.
Really?
It's like a mariachi type thing. I mean,
Well, hang on a second.
Nice to know what they were singing about.
Well, Cinco de Mayo, right?
Right.
Isn't when is it that the young ladies, the whole thing with the young Spanish Mexican ladies, girls, do you know about that business of transitioning from girls to womanhood that the Spanish?
I do, yes, I do.
Is that Cinco de Mayo or is that something?
It's quinceañera.
Quinceañera, which means 15 or 16.
I have no idea. I
15.
Could ask, but
yeah, it's Spanish. I would love to be able to speak more Spanish, and you're based out of there in Arizona, so I mean, one of the things we're going to ask you about was the Arizona lights, obviously, especially with your background in.
Oh, with the one that happened in like 97,
correct.
And then like again or something.
I don't know.
Or was it 97? Yeah.
Yeah. I think 97 is right. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know about that one.
Were you there at the time?
I wasn't here though.
Oh, I see. You had friends that saw a few things?
Well, I actually was married to Jeff Willis, and he was like one of the dudes. I mean, he even got daylight footage of the Phoenix lights, is what he calls them.
Well,
I don't know if it's like two different craft, and he like took, just said it was the daylight footage. I don't know. We're divorced, obviously, so that's probably why.
Right.
I mean, not why, but part of the reason, I'm sure. Anyway.
Well, but hold it. Hang on. Are we supposed to know who Jeff Willis is? He's like some.
Well, he's been on TV and he's on like the Travel Channel and stuff like that. He got a check one time in the mail that said incredible UFO, and that's all it said on like a $2,000 check.
Nice, from like YouTube video.
It's Chinese people. It was from people in China. For some of his footage, I guess he sold some footage or something.
Oh, I see. Oh, how about that?
I didn't even know about that till after we were kind of divorced and stuff. So.
Huh.
But whatever. I mean, I don't even care. But
okay.
I don't know. It's just weird. That's when I seen my first UFO was with him. I never seen one until I met him, and I said, "You better show me a UFO." And then shortly thereafter, I seen my first UFO, which kind of blew my socks off a little bit. And I've seen a lot of weird stuff, but wow. When you see your first UFO, you're like, what the fuck is that? Why is it just sitting there? What could it possibly be doing?
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Is it a plane? Is it a helicopter?
Planes don't sit there.
Chinese lanterns?
The first one I seen, we were going out to the car, right? To go to work. And we both had I had a 70, I think it was a 76 Camaro, and he had a 78 Trans Am. So they were parked. We were just dating at the time, and they were both in the driveway and stuff. That was so badass. Anyway, so we were going out to the car, and he's all, "There's one right there," because I was asking him, show me one. And so he pointed up there, and I'm like, "Where?" And they're really hard to see because they're usually way up there, and they're small. They're like tiny when they're that far away. I mean, they're probably that tiny when I don't know how tiny they are when they get close, because I've never seen one of those types very close, but I did see one right over my neighbor's house, and it was in the same house we were living in. And wow, that was like right over my neighbor's house. And my, you know, how the house isn't just but across the street, you know? And it was like, I looked over and there it was. It was like, whoa. But I was actually getting arrested at the time. So
You weren't
and
you
the
weren't
cop was,
you weren't high
yeah,
or
I
anything,
was.
were you?
I was getting arrested, and
Were you drinking?
right when, no, it's another story.
Why were you getting arrested?
Do you really want to know?
Well,
Well,
can you talk about it, or is it something?
well,
That's part of the reason you're here. Is like now's your chance to bear
okay.
all.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, more
It
or
doesn't
less.
really matter, I
Yeah.
guess. Well,
I'm sure
because,
Roger would love to see you have you bear all, like given the pace of his comments and the tone. Starting with let me see here now.
thanks, Rob.
It's about time. Oh, there we go. Yeah, bearing all. I've seen one of the pictures. Your men, the way that some are well endowed in some areas and women in
There's
others.
like a total lag, or maybe it's just my computer.
Yeah. I think maybe. Oh, there. Well, you see, we're on opposite sides of the world, so it can be kind of tricky.
I was thinking that.
Right. You gotta. That's one thing when with groups, especially, or just you gotta be with talking over one another. But the point, I'll just explain here how Roger's all fired up. It seems definitely happy to see you. It's about time. Get some class on this stream. So I guess he's up till now we haven't had much class. But one of my nephews says Zane Ivy, and that's not Zanivy as Roger likes to pronounce his name. It's Zanivy. No, it's Zane Ivy. Yeah, fellow expat
Right.
living here out of South Korea. He's a pretty cool
Sweet.
dude. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there's a lot of business in prison, totally.
Pardon me?
I was talking to Zane Ivy.
Oh,
He has a nephew that used to be, he's in prison right now, and he does tattoos as well.
There you go.
And he's doing a lot of business in there.
Yeah, doing. And that was one of the. So you're right, kind of on top of things there via the YouTube, and what we're streaming here this go round. Of course, good to see. And that's one of the things we were going to bring up with you. How in prison, they're illegal, but the inmates do a pretty decent job, it seems.
Oh yeah, that's actually how I learned how to tattoo. My father's husband.
Oh, one of those relationships.
My son's father. He went to prison for a little while.
Freudian
slip.
He
got out, he had this tattoo machine, and he was tattooing all over. He made it out of like a tape player motor, and he was tattooing on himself. And I was probably like, I don't know, 18 at the time or 19. I could have been more than 19. Yeah, and so I was like, oh wow, that's really kind of cool, because I always knew how to draw, but
right.
And then he went to go tattoo on like the back of his leg where he couldn't really reach, and I was like, okay, well, I'll help you with that and stuff. And he said, no way, I would not let you touch me with this tattoo. And I just think it's hilarious, because shortly thereafter he died, and what do you got to say now? Huh?
Oh, jeez. Now hold it. You're laughing.
I tattooed way better than he ever. I mean, he was just like a scratcher, really. He was just, he was in prison for a while. So
what the hell? I'm sorry.
I know a lot about the prison thing.
Yeah. Well,
I've never been there. I've never been there.
Right.
Nor do I. Am I going to be going? What I need to know is not in there.
Well, you've probably, presumably, had a few people over the years. I mean, working professionally for 15 years, that have they've done time. Some of your clients that have come in for work. Presumably.
Yeah, my ex-husband, not the first one, not Jeff, not the UFO guy, but the second one, the tattoo artist, he had just gotten out of prison when I met him, and I had started to apprentice him, and then we got married, hand-fasted actually. We didn't do it legally. I mean, not like that system over there.
Wait a minute. So that's kind of like Wiccan witchcraft, Sarah Pagan.
Well, they kind of made that trendy with that, but this goes way back to the Celtic. Like it's how people got married before somebody else had to tell them they could or whatever that's about. It's like you just have a ceremony, and You know, you're like, you devote yourself to each other.
Right.
You know, like it's like a bond. You
Yes.
know.
So,
And
hmm
yeah, yeah,
oh,
and
go
you
ahead.
tie the hand. You know, you tie your hands with a little cord that you make, and
Right.
it was very sweet. Yeah, very nice, and it was by a waterfall too, which is sweet. It would have been way better if it was by a lake or something, but you know, waterfall, I guess, in a park isn't that bad. I'm
Oh, it
not gonna
sounds
bitch about it.
that's beautiful and romantic on a whole number of
Yeah,
different.
getting married's always been very important to me.
Oh, maybe,
It's
yeah.
just like what I wanted from the time I grew up.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess third time's a charm. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, at this point, I'm just like, you know, I mean, I'm late for a lot of stuff, you know, so I can't really bitch too much.
Uh,
but
uh,
I'm like, oh my God, like, what's going on? Like, you said you were going to be here. Are you
well,
like standing me up like in the fucking 14th millionth lifetime that we had or what? You know, because I'm still kind of trying to get over that one. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
well, we there's no need, yeah, we don't have to get too much in the personal end of things, unless you know, it's like the conversation can
It was a
go.
couple lifetimes ago, so I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well, hey, I'll tell you
I
what,
separate myself.
you might get a kick out of this. Actually, the reason I know about hand fasting is because
Uh-huh.
I actually dated and was involved with a witch American. I was based out of Canada, British Columbia, back in, well, for the longest time, you know, born and bred, raised the whole business. But around the turn of the millennia, we connected and talk about past lives and karma, and even tarot. I mean, witchcraft. See, the thing is, I knew she was a witch. She was very, very charming. Look out, guys! Very charming, very charming. And
I think that's a requirement to be a witch. I think you have to be charming, and if you're not, then you didn't pass the test, and you can't be a witch quite yet. We're better on your charmingness.
yeah, I mean, I got totally
Yeah,
played and had, but at the
totally.
same time, it's, you know,
Really?
well, I mean,
Okay.
it lasted maybe not quite a year, but uh, she there was a considerable amount of she sucked a lot of money out of me. Let's say, you know, a fair number of doubloons that were drained from my pirate
Oh, I
account.
cracked myself up. Sorry.
Yeah, well, yeah, she blew the bank account wide open. Um,
Yeah.
but there was a couple kids involved, and I, with me, uh, you know, traveling with her down to the States after she'd been up and kind of settled in with me for a couple months in Canada. Her kids come up to join us. Then she's got this crazy ex-husband who ends up coming up across the border with a gun.
Whoa.
And yeah, and that's when things started to get a little serious. You know,
Was
it's
she
like,
swerving it around? Was she like, hey?
no,
This is
this is
my
the
guy.
crazy ex-husband, military guy.
Was he waving it around
Well, he was looking for me. Let's put it
with
that
the
way.
gun like this?
Well, no, you
Or
don't.
he
I
just
don't.
got it. I'm going to find that motherfucker.
Yeah, well,
It
that
was
kind
like,
of. Yeah, I think more that kind of thing. And
okay.
he reckon at that time that was like pre 9/11. So he's like, Jesus, it's really easy to get this gun across the board. It didn't take too much.
Wow.
So, but anyways, so we dodged that bullet as things, you know, the way that it all kind of played out, and then ended up heading back down to the States in a big kind of camper van, taking her kids and the whole thing. And then, you know, moving in down, it was really beautiful. The whole, the American Midwest, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. And that was one thing I was going to ask you
Hi.
actually about the big biker fest in Sturgis, if you've ever made it
Yeah.
there.
Never been there.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Always heard about it.
Yeah, yeah. But so we settle in there, and it's just a long story. But it was just get to the point. This hand fasting business that she turned me on to that, and then this business, whole thing of like, family grimoires, wanting to bury it in the house's basement.
Did you know that grammar means grimoire? Did you know that?
Grammar.
Yeah, interesting, huh?
Well, if as far as the spelling is
the etymology is a grimoire.
Well, how about? Well, that's great, but that's that? Well, thank you.
Imagine that. Well,
that's powerful. That's just, I mean, knowledge is power. We love, word games, etymology, philology.
Etymology. I always like to get to the root.
Yes.
Of whatever it is going on.
Well, and as I said, spelling. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Spelling.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
I have a T-shirt planned for that one.
Well, I see. Okay.
A couple wizards.
Yeah. No. Hey, if we have creative ideas, we will definitely bounce them off of you and let you run with it. As far as slow, because we love slogans and catchphrases, all kind of stuff. And
oh, dude, that just like I don't even know.
Well,
it just comes in and it just like I can't even write fast enough. So.
Okay. So let's get back. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on the comment end of things. Oh, that's the wrong slideshow. But I want to try and pull up more of your, now that we've had you on camera for a little while, shift transition back. And Roger's got his there's your value-added content, Roger. Yeah. You owe us for that. So who knows what he was up to. Just eye candy, I suppose, is his whole take on things, basically. Va-va-voom. Yeah, I think you probably saw that in the comment end of things. So he's quite very playful rascal. Yeah. And this, speaking of playful rascals, Danny, our little special needs kitty. I don't know if you have any cats or not, but
I do. Yes. And a lot of times when your cat goes meow, meow, I'm like, where is Squeaky? What are you doing? And it's not even my cat.
Right. So, okay, I would like to get, because, whirl the words, create the world. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. Have you?
I have. Yes, I have. Absolutely.
Really? Where does that come from? Mm-hmm. Is that Celtic?
There is, I don't know about that, but I do know that the words that we have apparently they were created by whomever, probably AI somewhere, I would imagine. But, because it seems very extensive, but, I wouldn't be surprised. In any case, where are we going? Oh, yeah, you asked me if I'd heard of that before. Yeah, the whirl thing. So the sounds of words have a lot to do with the spells that are placed on us, because we like unconsciously have like a restraint on either ourselves or the person or someone else. Almost like how people say there's cords that people have, you got to cut the cords and all. Maybe that's what that thing is. But it's like, and it has to do with like the how we leave their energy with what we've said to them, like with the words, the way they've sounded. So, and this is very interesting because of different languages, and I don't speak any other different languages. I wonder if it's kind of the same with other languages too. That would be interesting to find out. But yeah, so the world, we're in a world because we're whirling. But the first place I heard that was that one, I don't remember her name, but that one chick who, she has, she's an older lady, and I don't remember her name, but she does the how people work 7 hours, was it hours of the week, or no, it's days of the week. It's like the weekdays, because, the week part in there, weekday, and then there's other ones.
They all come, the days of the week, it's said to all originate from Viking culture and history.
Yeah.
Moon Day is obvious, right? And
Yeah.
that's what I try.
I guess.
Monday, Moon Day, and then Sunday and Saturday is Saturn, but
Tuesday, Wednesday's Woden's Day, Thursday's Thor's Day.
Correct.
And then Friday's Freya's Day. And then Saturday is, I don't know whose day.
Well, Saturn, I believe. There
was a dude named Saturn back then. I don't know.
Oh, it's a planet.
Maybe there was, but was he like a god, a Viking god? Not that I know of.
No, the planet Saturnalia.
I wonder if there's one that's similar. I do have a hammer on my hand, so you know.
Well, hopefully not a hammer.
I should know these things. You would think,
Hopefully not a hammer and sickle.
No, I'll show you once.
Hang on. Okay, well we'll shift. We'll switch back to.
Okay.
We can easily transition, more or less. So just stand by, and it's. So I'm gonna actually hang on. I'm gonna delete something. I hope this is. There we go. It's there's this older slideshow. I want to get rid of that, and then we'll do this, this, and weird here. That. There we go. Okay, let's see the Mjolnir again. Mjolnir. Is that fair enough? Is that Thor's hammer?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Now, since we're kind of taking a walk on paranormal,
I have to say something real quick.
Yeah.
Yggdrasil.
Oh, the tree, Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil. Yeah.
Right.
I love saying that word.
Right. What are you and your ancestral roots, if you don't mind? You look pretty gypsy. British?
Right. Oh, as far as human goes, well, yeah, you can kind of tell by the.
What do you mean as far as human? What else? What other options do we have?
I was thinking galactic, like star systems, where.
Okay.
And I come from more than one. There's more than one. I mean, as far as I can tell here.
Oh, I see. Well, let's get into that
one
then.
Of the,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm not Palladian or Arcturian or anything like that. I think we all have different influences from other races, if not the genes from them. Obviously not the genes, because we're not blue. I mean, I'm not blue.
Right.
Because a lot of beings are blue, for example. And, I guess you couldn't have too much of a hereditary physical form after that with that. But apparently there's some way you can just, switch, apparently.
Well, I'm not sure. Switching, that sounds plausible.
Spirit comes out and goes in a different body kind of thing.
Oh,
anyway.
We were talking about that the other day, the whole walk-in phenomenon. Yes. Now, I'm not, for the record, just, state I'm definitely not blue, but I have been blown. So I think, there's.
You have?
Well, a time or two, yes. And it's always quite
lucky guy. What a lucky guy.
It's hopefully we don't blow this live stream.
I'm backwards here, so I'm trying to everything's reversed in the mirror. So when I go down, it's anyway. Down is up, left is right, right is left. Whoa!
Whoa, hang on.
And then I've got a delay.
But okay, so be loved.
There we go.
Be loved.
Okay, so this is David Wilcock's signature.
Yeah.
Right under my UFO's light. I'm in my UFO's light right here.
Right.
And this is when I went to meet him in California. And
right.
He wrote, I said, write, with your signature, put some words of advice or something cool like that. He's like, well, what do you want me to, what should I put? And I'm like, I don't know, you pick. I don't want to pick. It's your thing. I want your autograph.
You're Edgar Casey's reincarnation. I mean, you should be able to come up with something.
You gotta put something cool down there. Like, I'm Edgar Casey. Don't forget. That would have been really fucking cool if he would have put that. But he just put be loved.
So, do you believe that? And we do have the picture of you and David in the slideshow. We know that you're a fan.
Well, we're like soul family, kind of, in a way.
Okay. Now,
somewhere, they're not too far back, actually. I think we're
okay.
It's like he's on that, not on that team, but he's like in a different sector, but on that team, or on the same. We came here together. Let's put it that way.
Well, how now you say this with a fair deal of confidence. How is it?
Right.
How is it you know this?
I'm this is what I get. This is what I understand this is what I'm seeing. This is what I know. Let's put it that way. I know this. This is what I know. Take it or leave it or whatever. But this is what's coming.
Oh, we're
So,
listening. Very
yeah, it's very
open-minded,
interesting.
and
Absolutely,
we're not
and it's
shooting
interesting
it
for
down.
me too.
So, but the thing is, I'm curious to know, like, how do people know these things? That's all.
It's like a. I think it. You guys were talking about meditation the other day, or whatever. But
Sure.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
or no,
Oh,
that was on your
meditation. Yeah.
your interview with Roger. That was a while back.
Yeah.
I listened to that the other night
Oh,
too. It was
cool.
pretty cool.
Good.
Felt like we were hanging out, but we weren't.
Well,
But anyway,
kind of.
actually, it's kind of like the other times I just listened to your show, but it was Roger's show.
It helps when you or anyone else out there listening, including the lurkers. Remember to sign in, lurkers. We've got a handful of quality contributors right now that are actively engaging us via the Peanut Gallery, whether it's YouTube, D Live, Facebook, or X. But lurkers do sign in. Just it doesn't really pay in a big way to not actively engage us here in the comment end of things. Of course, you can come in under any moniker or pseudonym. So, but back to you, meditation and this. The show that we were doing a little while ago.
Well, that helps you get to know your energy, like your inner energy. And I mean, I've meditated a few times, but I don't meditate that much. I mean, I'd like to, I guess, but it's just not in the time where that can happen. Do
you want me to tell you something?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Well, okay.
But vice versa.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Pardon me?
You're the captain. I'm the commander.
No, I'm chief communications officer, and the captain is, he's
right.
Decent
chief
enough.
Communications officer, sweet. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
A CCO.
Communication is so important. Oh my God. That's like what the whole problems we're having in the world is really based upon, or at least a big part of it is communication.
Right. Yeah, and understanding. So many times.
Yes, communication. Yeah.
But basically,
that's how you do it. Is you understand rather than understand.
That's a great point. That's a really great word play. Understand. That's I've never had that presented to me.
Oh, you haven't
in the past.
Yeah, it makes more sense than understand, because in court the whole thing is like, do you understand? Like, you stand under what you said. No, I don't understand. No,
right? Yeah.
Like, do you bow down? No, I'm not trying to bow down.
Yeah.
What you got going on here?
And that's I actually had to run in with the cops back in the day, and they really got pissed off when they asked me, "Do you understand?" And I said, "No."
Oh my God.
It's like, "No, I don't," and they really did not like that.
Right.
You're not playing the game. You're not playing the game.
For DUI.
Yeah.
And I told the cop I was like a block away from my house too. I was on my phone.
Yeah, there's my house right there.
My kids were there, and I was like, oh my God, you know how, like, because they're a little older, they're not like babies or anything. But I went to the bar to meet my daycare lady's the one who wanted me to go out with her, so I did for just a little while. And I was driving back home, and I was crying because these guys or whatever. And so I was like, and then I ran into the curb. And I was like, whoa, it woke me up. Oh, shit, I better stop fucking feeling sorry for myself right now and just drive. And then a fucking cop pulled me over because I ran in the curb, so can't really argue with him. I sure did. It was pretty hard, too. I probably would have pulled me over, too.
Joshua Allen Huckold joining us here. Saying he's a little late, but, present and accounted for. So great to see you. As always, Joshua, your support is highly valued. And let's see what else we got going on here. There was a comment that Roger made. Was it Mjolnir or Mjolnir?
Mjolnir?
Viking god of Saturn. That's what he's telling us there. So I'll have to look into that a little further. Maybe I should
not heard that.
I should actually. I got the problem here with the screen is it's the browser's only at 80%. So let's make this a little more eyeball friendly. But Yeah. Now, oh, Dave Kelso. Dave Kelso, he's crashing, I guess, the mines. There's a mines
Oh,
roundtable,
okay, cool.
and hilarious. I don't know. We'll have to get back to Roger on this one. Dave is quite. He's a colorful character. There's no doubt about it. Very bright, very articulate, and highly opinionated. So, but
Are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
Dave Kelso, he's the co-founder of PSEC, the
different Dave.
Paradigm Shift educational comedy.
Haven't heard of that one.
Project. Oh, you will. You hang. Well, if you're connected with us here on Skype, you will, because we've all pretty much integrated our collective grassroots endeavors here via Skype, and basically fanning out from beyond here across social media on a multitude of platforms, including minds.com, which you need to become more active on. We see you have 2 accounts, it seems.
I was gonna check it out.
You got to get more. Now, are those new accounts?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I've never been to Minds before, and I don't really go on social media anyway.
Oh, so we noticed that. It's like, geez, you got your links here and stuff. It's like, wow, man.
Well, if they didn't all suck so bad.
Well,
although,
get your X, get more active on. Well, get more active on X. We got to challenge you somehow.
Me.
Just do something.
I don't know. I'm trying to detach.
Well, I do the same. I love to unplug. Okay, I do. I when we're done with the show, we get the archived end of things uploaded, and it actually reminds me, we've got the March calendar. We're trying to catch up. We're a little behind here, folks. But the March feature guest calendar, we've got to get out to the. Here we go. There's a couple links we're going to share with you right now, real live time, including Bob Dub's Minds channel and the March 2024 feature guest, the calendar that people can look at, the schedule as it's been archived.
I feel like I didn't answer any questions. Like I feel like there's like a couple of concepts that I didn't finish the story of.
We do that all the time. Meditation. Come back. See, that's the thing. Yeah. That meditation is there's how
you can see stuff like that, because that was your question.
There's a lot to it.
How can people see stuff like that? And I think that you can because it's inward. So maybe that's why I think meditation. If you learn how to go inward, if you need meditation to do that, then whatever. But yeah, that's where you get that information.
Well, it kind of is.
You know who you are.
Well, here's one for you. Have you seen this in the past? The meditation and medication.
Medication. Yeah, right. That's the one I heard you talking about on Roger when Roger
interviewed.
It's
just one syllable. You just flip it, or you change it over to the T to the C. You don't think that the ancients have known for quite some time the holistic the value of sitting, or even just washing the dishes? There's many ways of meditating. You meditate while you're in the bathroom.
Washing the dishes, I think, is a good one. And I have a secret to washing dishes. If there's somebody who doesn't like to do dishes,
right?
There is a secret that I have that has totally cured me of any. I love to do the dishes now, which is weird.
Well, help me on this one, because the wife, I'm sure, will really appreciate
it. What it is that I'm happy that I'm not in jail.
Oh.
And at least I'm not in jail.
Well,
And so I'm this rocks.
Or homeless.
What I'm doing, I'm happier. So I use that. It's like magic sauce that I put on the way that the dishes make me feel. It's gone.
Yeah, well, or homeless. I'm not sure. Have you ever been homeless?
Yes, for 2 days on the rough streets of Fairfield.
Sounds like me. Fairfield,
California.
Oh, I see. Okay, I was homeless for a few days back in the mid to late 90s in Vancouver. That was about the extent of things. It sucked, but I tell you, man, it was, and I've talked about this in the past, so people that have tuned in and listened to the show will know about this. So without going into any extensive detail, I was touring and busking, street performing mostly, and just things were getting to be too overwhelming, too much of a challenge, and we were kind of working on launching a network, not quite similar to what we're doing here, but more directly related to music and the arts on a provincial basis. It was called Jam BC, Jam Jesters and Artists of the Muse. And we were thinking, hey, how about a world franchise? And hey, how about now Robin Hood was not part of the picture yet, but in intuitively or understandedly, we intuited, and we just it came to us that
intuitively you understood.
Yeah, thank you for
understand. Yeah. Intuitively, I understand.
Yeah,
you understood
that we needed to have it. So it was operating as a cooperative corporation or corporate cooperative, kind of like the way the big shots have these public-private partnerships these days. The PPP, public partnerships. You hear about them time and again. Yeah, man. Oh, that's it. That's their scam.
This is what needs to happen, right?
But see, we couldn't. Well, smoke, have your cigarette, or doobie or whatever the hell.
That needs to happen to the whole system thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's something, or some sort of transformation.
Corporations or whatever you want to call that whole thing.
It's fascism.
That's what's killing everything.
It's killing everything. Yeah. Corporatism. But anyway, so our lawyer said you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't have a corporate cooperative or cooperative corporation. But the big shots can, basically, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but anyways, so that was my homeless stint back in the day in Vancouver. It was very humbling and very much character building. So not that I would recommend it to anyone, but if you're out there on the streets, folks, or know of anyone, I'd always been very sympathetic to homeless people, more or less. I'm not big into giving, even to this day. Money. No.
You know what's funny? Right when I wasn't homeless, though, it was because I got a job at Heather and Hill Tattoo in Fairfield. I moved from Sacramento.
Oh,
There's
right.
a story.
Oh, cool.
For everything.
Right on.
But in any case, I'll try and make this one quick.
Write a book. We need a book.
Topic.
Sonia Galactec.
Read a book right now?
Write a book.
Oh, write a book. Yeah.
You like to write. You got your blog going, so there you go. Blog away. Well, blog away. Roger will help you get. Roger hopefully will help to get you going with your website, with the blog, and with
I have not had any help, and it would just be nice to have someone to bounce ideas off of,
Yeah. Well,
but I obviously am supposed to be at this time when I don't have any friends or talk to anybody, whatever, like on a personal daily basis. So it helps me to know myself, and I get to know myself better. And I think so that's why the universe has set aside this amount of time for me to do this. So I shouldn't even be bitching,
Right. And you got, and your daughter's there with you too, right?
Yeah, she just had a baby. She's she's always with her man. She just got married.
Right.
So yeah.
But
so
you live together. You're telling us earlier.
I stay with her. I let her do it's like we switched.
I see. Okay, well we have Karma Love dropping in to the mix here. Good to see her connecting via Florida, USA. So Zane Ivy, of course, someone who joins us courtesy of the Korean Peninsula. Joshua, I think maybe, I should know this. He's in the States, of course, but I don't know. Joshua, help us with that one. It's not Virginia, is it? But anyways, and then finally here we got some good news. Roger saying he will help you with whatever she needs. She's with friends. So
thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So Iowa, and I think you're connected. You're in his Skype room at present. It appears. So
am I?
You didn't know that? No, he was Johnny on the spot.
I don't really know about this kind of stuff.
He'll hit you up. I
do.
Get ready for
everybody else. But
I wouldn't be surprised if you get a call from him here at some point. and you can get rocking and rolling.
You mean
With
Roger?
Jolly Roger Hansen.
Because
That's right.
he's really busy. I mean, he's like doing like, I don't know, it's like 15,000 like different
True.
podcasts or
That's
something
yeah.
right now.
Well,
And then he's like
he's
getting more apparently.
he's supposed to be
It's in
helping
the
us
works,
too.
yeah,
With
right.
upgrading
So I mean,
our
I don't know
site.
if he'd have time to like do anything.
Oh, I'm sure he would quite easily be able to
You
prioritize a
think
little bit of time
Oh, that'd be nice.
for his.
That'd be nice if he could find time. That would be very sweet.
Oh, he's a fan of your. He's like, yeah, he's got time. He says
My
here.
only fan, like I was saying.
Well,
Thanks,
oh yeah, that's right. Hey, you should charge him to talk to you. That's right. Good only fan. That's right.
Only if he gets tattooed. Okay.
Huh?
I'm not into charging people just to talk to me, although I probably should because I'm an interesting aspect.
So Roger, she just typed here in Skype that she's it's $50 an hour, and that's discount. That's a discounted fee. 50
for tattooing.
No, but just to talk for chat time, OnlyFans.
No, I'm not going to charge him.
No, you have to. So it's $50 an hour.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Sorry. You can charge him, I guess. But
I'm
that's
just
hey.
I'm
gonna tell him, look, he's charging to talk to me, but he's keeping all the money.
I'm just don't worry. Hey, I'm just pulling your. I'm pulling your wooden leg. Okay, so. Yeah.
Oh, now you don't got one of those.
Yeah. So just as we say, just make sure. Well, with the guys at least, it's not the middle one. The left, the right, but hands off the middle one.
I don't know that I'm really into taking that advice. Thank you, though. I do appreciate your assistance.
With what exactly?
Which leg to pull and stuff like that.
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but you know the expression, I'm just pulling your leg.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so it's a little inside kind of pirate joke. Okay, so where do you want to go?
I mess up your joke. Sometimes I do
that. No, I'm not a professional comedian, so I wouldn't worry about it. Just kind of out here doing what I can to polish.
If you were though, I'd probably just kind of chime right in with you, and we'd probably make somebody laugh. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few people out there from time to time kind of quietly chuckling to themselves.
Sometimes you have to let me, get the wheel for a minute. And I'll turn this ship around.
Yeah. So.
It was funny. I cracked myself up. Anyway.
Okay, so we are here, in case people are wondering, you've just dropped in with Sonia Galactec. Someone who, let's see, getting to the bio and blurb to recap, UFO experiencer. We'd like to get back to that a little more here before the end of the show, and online merchant.
Yeah, that story stopped because of jail or arresting.
It's all these are all the blog, jail blog, UFO, ufology blog, marriage blog. I mean, these are all stories of your chapters in your life that, if you're really, so inclined and wanting to pursue that, you could easily lay out there for people. But yeah. So out of the Phoenix, Arizona, is where she calls home at present, and she's launched her first Viking Spirit Tattoo shop around 15 years ago. Long had an affinity for all things.
First.
Pardon me?
I used to make an ointment, an herbal ointment.
Oh.
At first, when I first started, that's why I got the name Viking Spirit, because I called my ointment Viking Spirit.
Oh.
It was just made out of herbs and shit, and it was. Nice. I made it originally for my daughter because she had stretch marks, but it turned out to be the best aftercare, stuff for tattoos. It was sweet.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. That? So we had Viking Spirit Tattoo and then Viking Spirit Balm, which I made and we sold, and everybody loved that. It was great.
Oh, well, geez, you should definitely revisit that and work on more widely marketing. That sounds like a. Have you ever watched the Shark Tank show?
No, I haven't. I kind of heard a little bit.
Yeah, I have. We're both pretty much on the same page as far as that goes, and we get the idea of the way that people, they try to present and pitch their whatever products, ideas.
And then they vote for which whichever one they're going to invest in.
I guess so, yeah. So
okay, yeah, I do remember seeing that like once or twice when my daughter was watching it.
mm-hmm.
I didn't know what it was called. I just
Shark
watched
Tank.
The living room.
Yeah, this really.
Don't watch TV in case.
Nor do we.
Obvious, but no, I don't watch TV.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, well, Televalium, huh?
For years.
You know, they say.
Ridiculous. I mean, it's especially like the news. Have you tried watching the news?
Nope. No, like, just internet, YouTube. And follow the links, and it's like, you know, it's a little more. We haven't watched television here for the past 15 years. It has not been a part of the wider life experience, and they say you are what you eat. So, right. And that all ties.
For the most part, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it goes into your unconscious mind, and your unconscious mind like makes everything, like makes your reality like every millisecond or whatever. So whatever you're focusing on, that's gonna make some more stuff happen in your life, kind of thing.
Right.
So,
and
it's like when you're trying to open your third eye or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all you got to do is like think about it and want to do that, and it will. You're on the right track already, and that's how you do it. Really, you just intend it.
That's right.
It like makes that happen.
That's right.
So when you're watching like a bunch of horror movies and shit like that, where people being like torn apart and stuff, or whatever the thing is, it's like that's just gonna create in your immediate future like chaos, and it might not be like something bad's gonna happen to you. It's just that's like a lot of the anxiety or being on the edge a lot of people have. It's from that kind of thing because their spirit is unrested. They're not rested. They're not peaceful, I guess you could say.
Right.
It disrupts peace.
That's right.
That whole agenda.
You are what you eat.
Disrupting part.
There's a Sanskrit term. It's no, I think it's Sanskrit. It's known as samskara, and you, someone that's into scarification. I think that's part of the.
I'm not into scarification though. Oh. Although I did have a scarification chick work at my shop for a little while.
Okay, what's the difference then between the tattoo artistry and scarification?
Scarification?
Scarification. Isn't that where I thought tattoos essentially fell within that category? Scarification.
Well, it might in a sliver. I could see how someone might say that, but that's only people who like don't know how to tattoo will leave a scar on you.
Okay, so what is scarification then exactly?
Well, scarification is when you take a razor blade. First, you get a design. You put your design on whatever part of the body you're going to do it on, and then you know, your stencil, and then you take and you cut out the flesh in that design, and that gives you a scar in that design.
Oh, you know, so there's no ink involved.
No, that's scarification. Yeah. I mean, not a lot of people do that, but the chick I hired did that.
Okay.
And it's really rather gross. It's
right.
Really disgusting.
Well, everyone's got their.
Unless you like, you know, blood, and if you do, then something's fucking wrong with you anyway. In my opinion, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And somebody's like, if they see blood, and they get like something's wrong. Like you don't even have to like question where they're like, you know, coming from or whatever. You kind of know they're probably, you know, they got something weird going on there with that shit. I'm just saying, because that doesn't make any sense. It naturally, when someone sees blood of another person or whatever, they want to help that person. That's a natural response. The natural response isn't to like get all like, you know, excited about it at all. I mean, well, excited, yeah, because you're like, oh my God, let me help you. What the fuck happened to you? You know, so that's excitement. But if you get off on it, like in a way, you know, that's not cool. You know, it's just
yeah, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, and it's not something I practice in the least.
Well, that's nice to know.
I mean, I don't even have any tattoos. Not that I'm not open to. I would potentially like.
If we ever meet, I will totally tattoo you. No matter what is going on in the world, I will see what I can do. Like, you know, that would be fun. You know what I'm going to put on you, don't you?
Yes. STFU.
No, what does it mean?
Shut the fuck up.
No.
Okay.
Silly.
Okay.
No, I would put like a little pirate flag on you, like a little Jolly Roger flag. Totally. I mean, duh.
All right.
Duh.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. So
probably like right here on your forehead, right under your eye.
Well, and do you know the
It would
term?
be like totally tough. People will look at you totally different. Dudes will not be fucking with you, as much at all. Tattoo
People,
your face, what happens?
yeah, people.
Same thing with the neck. Neck tattoos are badass too.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. Now there's a couple. That was one of the things I was going to ask you, like piercings, scarifications, piercings, and Samskara. We kind of once again we just uh, kind of rushed through the whole business of and off to another sort of related topic in some ways, but just to back things up a little bit, true Socratic fashion, that samskara, Sanskrit, samskara, you are what you eat. So as you're saying, we have these mental impressions that through the course of our life, whether through the music or the pop culture, the movies, TV, that we consume, even the people that we spend time with.
Yeah, whatever we choose to focus on, really.
Well, yeah, whatever influences us or whatever is part of our environment. That
things influence you that you aren't even focusing on, though. Like
right.
the whole, like it's really weird how much that happens to like people who, like your average person who can be easily hypnotized. One of those. Most people apparently can be easily hypnotized. But in any case, one of those dudes, I mean, you can like easily, I mean, if you had like a little bit of money, you could easily like make that dude do exactly what you want him to do throughout a day or however long you have money and people to help you do that shit. I mean, dude will not even, it's so amazing. Watch Darren, that dude Darren that does that one show.
Darren Brown.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, it's like the one where he did with the guys who were supposed to write a commercial for him, the advertising artists, and like the stuff they drew the stuff they seen on the way when they were driving there. They drew that with just a little bit of a suggestion from him. He didn't even say like they drew bears. He didn't say the word bear.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is crazy, but it's
totally crazy.
Speaking of Darren Brown, there's like the Programmed Assassin. Have you seen that one? Oh my God. So like people like Sirhan or Mark David Chapman or even John Hinckley, these people, not really Manchurian. Well, actually, hang on. No, are they? Let me get this straight. Manchurian candidate, but Programmed Assassin, basically, as you're saying, people that are susceptible to suggestion. They're
yeah. I mean, you took it in an extreme direction, but yeah, I suppose that would make part of it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, Darren Brown does a lot with hypnosis. There's even the one where, and that was successful too. He proved that you could program someone to, as this individual did. He stood up in the middle of it was a crowded theater, and he had a gun in his hand. He shot. They had blanks. Of course.
He did a show like that. Holy shit!
He stood up and he shot Stephen Fry. He's
really?
Maybe you don't know who Stephen Fry is. He's a British kind of commentator, among other things. He's very, very gifted, very bright, but queer, bipolar.
You say queer?
Yeah. He's pretty. I think
queer doesn't go with bipolar, so
it's sometimes very, very.
I figured it was queer right after I asked.
Very, very well. He's like openly faggy kind of guy. So he's very adorable.
That's the only way to be if you're going to be gay. I mean, why? I have a story for that. I drug a guy
adorable
right
versus
out of the
annoying
closet or whatever closet, the gay closet.
Right.
And I like said, "Hey, what are you doing in there, man? You need to be out here, motherfucker." He was even married to a woman. I couldn't even believe that. I was like, "What? You're married to a woman?" He'd been married to a woman. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna have some kids too? How much more are you gonna fuck up your life?" You know what I mean? Because if you're gay, why do you have to pretend to be somebody you're not?
Right.
Retarded.
Well, who was
I
this?
met this guy at a bar.
I'm sorry. So
him doing that shit, and I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's some guy blowing some other dude in a bar? Did you say?
No, he wasn't blowing him, but he might as well have been. I mean, he was really. I mean, those people who talk and they're totally, they're gay. There's no question because they're like flaming kind of. oh my God, those
yeah,
kind of
yeah, right. Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
just
that.
wonderful.
He
What
was
you're
like
doing there, I really
totally
love it.
like, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're not gay. Are you gay? Because right, like 10 minutes before that, I heard him on the patio outside going, yeah, I had to pull into the driveway last night and change a tire. My wife came out, and I was like, I distinctly remember hearing that guy when I was drinking my beer. I'm like, damn, that dude's loud and shit, you know, but
Right.
whatever. He wants, fucking, that was like the same guy that
Well,
I
but
witnessed now doing the gay thing. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
well, I don't know too much about
That's
that
hilarious.
whole kind of subculture as it is, but there are some pretty, I think, butch or guys that are tough guys that, yeah, hey, we're gonna, let's take care of business here.
All the guys I know that are like that, though,
Real
that
alpha
I
male.
know, you know, they're like that. You know what I mean?
Look at the
I've
lesbians.
never,
Look at the lesbian
'cause
couples. The way the girls hook up
I
too,
don't want
right?
to. I'm good, thank you.
No, but look at the way that.
Nothing against them, but
Right.
I've got other things to look at.
Right,
Like to
yeah,
focus
but
on. We're talking about focus earlier. I'm trying to focus on
Yeah.
some different shit.
But there are a lot of times you have one who's more dominant and the other that's more submissive,
Well, of
right?
course, there's always going to be a balance.
Yin and yang.
Gotta be balanced.
Yin and
That's
yang.
the whole reason that shit's going on in the first place, because shit's unbalanced.
Well, yeah, well, you know, and the way that to the point where, let's not forget, a lot of these folks who LGBTQ and every other letter of the alphabet, that a lot of them, they were institutionalized not so long ago. You know, that they were trying to, I guess, work out their problems.
Well, it is a mental health. It's classified as a mental issue. Like it's in like the DSM or whatever it's called.
Right.
It's a mental like state. It's mental illness.
Right.
It's an actual mental illness.
Yeah, body dysmorphia, I think
I'd be more pissed about that if I was gay. I'd be like, what do you mean mental illness? And you're going to be welcoming me into all this shit and you're fucking calling me I'm fucking crazy? You know what I mean? The dudes would probably be madder than that. They'd probably kick some ass then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
because I don't think a lot of people know that it's actually a mental illness.
Well, if you think about it, at the same time, it just goes back to meditation. That ultimately we are all mentally diseased.
Sure we are. If you want to look at it that way, absolutely.
Right.
That's the whole problem with their whole bullshit. See, what they're doing is they're scamming. They're like, because they have the ethers, the dudes in the ethers work with those dudes. I mean, those dudes don't know it. Most of the dudes that give people, like doctors that give medication, they don't know what's going on, you know? There's maybe a couple that do, I'm sure. Jerry Marzinski, he knows about that shit because he started talking to the voices.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like you're saying, like like people that are schizophrenic or bipolar.
They're being fucked with in the ethers. They're fucking with their head in the ethers, and it's not accepted out here. That whole world, nobody even told. You know, they think they're nuts. You know what I mean? It's bullshit, is what it is. It's a scam.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Which part?
It's all BS. It's a scam.
It is. It's a scam. There is no such thing as mental illness. There's no such thing as it. Like you said, everybody's mentally ill to a certain degree.
Diseased.
I guess so.
Diseased. Yes. That's
meditation. I don't like disease myself.
Well, look at the wordplay once again.
Disease, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
everybody's diseased.
Correct.
I mean, not everybody, because there's some people who are perfectly fine.
Well, not even even the Dalai Lama
does make people a little nervous.
Well, yeah. I mean, see, meditation is just you practice among other. There's many techniques, but you sit and you breathe.
Even in the shower is a meditation. That's actually where Brooke started talking to me. When you're in the bathroom, you don't have any distractions so much, and I didn't really anyway, because here I am with me and myself again. But this was years back. But in the bathroom, it's like where that's the best place to meditate because you don't have anybody calling you on the phone. Chances are, or calling you or handing you something or asking you a question and just all kinds of shit like that. So that's the best place to know yourself.
That's a great point. Yeah.
That's where Brooke, when I heard her, my friend who died like a couple years before that, I mean, she was like, it seemed like she was yelling or something, but I heard her like loud and clear. But she had somebody there helping her to, I don't know, she needed that person to communicate with me, or what the deal was. But yeah.
How did she?
In the bathroom, I was taking a shower and I heard her tell me this stuff about a dime and all this other stuff that she wanted me to tell her husband and her child.
Well, do you want to talk a little bit about her? We did add some of the pictures that you sent of Brooke.
She was also in a movie that was it was one that Sonny Barge, that guy, the Hells Angels guy.
Yeah, Sonny Barger. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that guy. He wrote that movie. It's the one he put out called Dead in 5 Heartbeats, I think is what it's called.
Slow down. It's called what? Is that, what?
Dead in 5 Heartbeats.
Dead in
5 heartbeats.
Oh, Dead in 5 Heartbeats. I see. Okay.
Yes,
my headphones, I got to turn up them. I think. Yeah, go ahead. That's so. Yeah, and Sonny just passed away last year. I think.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, he was 82 or 3, but he was.
Really? He didn't look that old when I seen him. I seen him a couple of years ago. He didn't look that old at all.
He had a good.
He didn't look no 80 nothing. I mean, you know,
right.
But he was dressed really nice and stuff. I didn't know who he was. I was like, hey, nice shirt.
Yes.
And the dude I was with, he's like, why you talk to him like that? I'm like, what do you mean talk to him like that? How did I talk to him? You know what I mean? What are you talking about? And because he was cool. People were like really weird around that guy.
You're just being authentic. You're just being really
absolutely.
real.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. If somebody wants to be all weird about that, then bye. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
No, and that's one of the things I think usually the outlaw bikers as an example, they appreciate. It's like just be yourself, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody appreciates that. I think, you know, that's why Tom McDonald's making it so big now. Have you heard of that guy?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Although his pairing up with Ben Shapiro, that was a little bit too much, and that kind of some real red flags.
It makes sense to me.
Okay,
I mean, I don't even know who Ben Shapiro is.
Really? I mean, he's an ardent, very pro-Israel, pro-Zionist Jew, mouthpiece, who
that's like
is all over social media.
I have no idea. From what I've gathered, though, is that it's like backwards. Like from what everybody thought was going on in the world with that, it's apparently it's flipped around. Backwards. I'm not surprised.
There you go. So anti-Semitism is the catchphrase, right? It's a politically loaded term, and now
kind of like a conspiracy theory. You know
it's a big lie. It's a total big lie.
Like everything else.
Yeah, big lies. Yeah, they're all false narratives. That's right. Man-made climate change, bullshit. The kill shots that they rolled out, and the whole propaganda, catapult of propaganda, as George W. Bush, Skull and Bones 43 put it, I guess. That was the deal there.
About that was pretty hilarious. It makes me laugh every time I look at it.
Catapulting the propaganda?
Well, it's this dude that goes to the grocery store. And he's all, when your bill is 9/11, and the cashier slowly changes into Bush.
Oh, yeah.
It just cracks me up. Yeah. It was like watching a movie, but you're not. You're just looking at a meme.
So, there's, the whole anti. See, the biggest thing with not Zionism, but anti-Semitism. It's a big lie, and the most anti-Semitic thing about anti-Semitism is the definition itself. Because, and the reason I say that is because
that's why they made it. That's why they designed it that way.
Yeah, exactly. It was totally to hoodwink everybody,
and waste everybody's time and. Pick up your direction and lead you in a different direction to your inner space and world, so you'll know what the fuck is going on this planet, so you can help us the fuck out.
Well, and look,
can't do this shit by ourselves. You know
look where the world is now. So
that's my point.
Yeah, exactly. And Netanyahu, we're just going it alone, I guess is what they say. But apparently there's these weapons, the transfer of weapons. If you say you're not really much of a news person, which I understand, but
no, not at all.
There is.
I know the news, but I can tell you the galactic wind and which way that's going, and
that's
what people will say about that and this or but and probably like a couple of your past lives, maybe. It just depends on how good we get along and stuff.
Wait
But
a minute.
other than that,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, okay,
what
so
you're talking about.
okay. Oh, okay. You're saying my past as an
Yes.
example,
Yes.
or okay. Well,
Yes.
anything. So hold it.
I would tune into you.
Okay, let's.
Usually, when you talk to somebody, you tune into them.
Right.
It's very easy.
So hold it. So basically,
Yeah,
we gotta get into this a little more because time is of the essence here, and maybe we can.
Time doesn't really exist.
well, that's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I wouldn't even date a guy who wore a watch back in the day. I was
right.
like, nope, he's a watch guy.
Right. Well, and think about it. Think about it. The time of conception to the point, time of death. It's all encapsulated where we are now. Time and space. It's alpha and omega.
Grinder. It's the grinder information. It's the information to keep your mind grinded into this matrix machine thing, whatever.
Right.
Whatever this place is. Yeah.
Well,
it's like locks you in, like
Maya.
a combination of them.
Maya, the veil of illusion.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know Maya?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what some call it, yeah.
Right, yeah. So, or the veil. Yeah, the veil.
The veil.
So, yeah,
the veil's a little bit different, but yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's where Brooke was at. She was beyond the veil. She was over the veil there.
Well, let's back up and just, if you don't mind, pay a little bit of. If we could, I don't know, tribute or respect to your friend or her memory.
She actually, there's a picture. The picture I sent. I was gonna send the cool picture because she was in that movie that Sonny made, right? Just like a side character or whatever.
We got to watch that. I got to check that out, man. It's like once again, it's like dead in a 5-second heartbeat. How does the title go again?
Dead in 5 heartbeats.
Dead in 5 heartbeats. Okay.
Yeah.
And he had a hand in Sons of Anarchy. I haven't watched much of that show, but what about
Brooke was a biker. Her and her husband, they were like biker people.
Right.
She was like a Valkyrie. She's like me. She's a Celtic maiden kind of chick.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, and I was assuming that like you've hung around a lot of bikers in the past, partied with them.
I've known a few. Uh-huh.
Yeah, to put it mildly.
I wouldn't say hung around with them, but
yeah.
I know. I mean, I guess, but I haven't been in like any biker parties.
Right. So your thing.
Actually, wait. Yeah, I have. I went to the Hells Angels party. We were invited. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I didn't even know what their colors were. Apparently, they're red and white, and I wore a red and white earring.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, that's how I rock it.
Okay. All right.
Comes naturally.
So, but you're someone definitely who you spiritually is where you vibe and intuitive, psychic.
I like to. My favorite place.
Psychic medium. Have you done tarot?
I do tarot. Yeah. Sure do. Yeah. I it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't do a lot. I used to go to the bar here and read people's cards.
Right.
I wouldn't call it my job because I didn't make any money doing it, but I did think about putting up a little sign saying donations welcome.
Well, I've
people cry,
right?
A few girls cry, and that's a compliment.
Okay. Yeah, well, do you know the I Ching?
Yeah, it was pretty sweet, dude.
Do you know
it was great.
Do you know the I Ching?
I do. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've never gotten into it, but yeah.
Right. Well, these are all methods of divination, apparently.
Yes, they are.
Right. Even bibliomancy. They talk about bibliomancy, where you take a book and just flip through the pages really quickly, open it. What's the first page?
That happens every day. I mean, to people who open books anyway.
Don't have the time to read the whole book, but we can flip through it and just
I used to read the dictionary like that. That was super fun.
That's cool. That's great. Yeah.
It's super fun.
Yeah. And
totally.
It's like the universe is speaking to us. Like, holy wow.
Absolutely. And the universe has spoke to me, and that's another reason that I got to stick up for David Wilcock here, because the reason I know who he is because he wrote a book called The Universe and I forget what it's called, but it's the universe and how the universe taught. I forget what the name of it is. It's a really cool name though. I can look it up or whatever. But the universe and you, the way the universe talks to you, or the connection in the universe, or the universe is alive, something like that. Anyway, But I seen that and I was like, well, I'm gonna check that shit out. And dude, it woke me back up again from the first time, which was in 1992, I think, when my daughter was just a wee baby. and that I had a oneness experience, and I forgot all about it until I read David's book, and I was like, oh my God, this guy, because back then nobody knew what the fuck I was talking about. Everybody thought I had lost my mind, you know, and it was very lonely. And so to get along in the world, I kind of just, you know, just conformed, I guess you could say, which, you know, that's fucked up because
that's living the inauthentic life.
Right. Well, I mean, I've developed who I am is very authentic for the most part. I mean, I can't really have any fun a lot of times, you know, because there's nobody around to communicate with. It's like when I'm communicating to somebody, that's when I'm like my true self, I guess you could say. But isn't that anyway? But yeah.
Okay. So Brooke, we have to get back to that. Okay, there are a few things before we wrap up, Brooke, and a little more of the ufology and the paranormal before we call it a wrap here. So go ahead.
Well, so about Brooke. So yeah, that was kick ass because, you know, I mean, I heard her and I'd never, I mean, talked to like, well, obviously I had, but I didn't know I'd ever talked to people who were like on the other side of the veil or whatever. But apparently, you know, that explains a lot.
Did you know that she was dead at the time, or was this
well,
right?
Yeah, of course I did.
Well, this may have been at the moment that it happened. Sometimes that people do experience that, right?
Well, there's no time over there, and actually, I figured that, but I asked her actually, and she said that it's anytime, all the time.
Yeah. Have you studied NDEs? Have you looked into the YouTube testimonies?
I've heard about them, and
my God.
I watched Jeff Maya, that one guy that has a radio show.
No idea.
The big guy, he has a lot of viewers. Jeff Mara, that's who it is. Yeah. But I don't really listen to too much, and they're all kind of the same, you know. And wherever that person, the story goes, is where I go in my mind. And
right.
So, you know, I mean, I just got other things that I want to look at right now.
I see. So okay. So you then, know? Okay. What? Like, how long did you know Brooke? How long had she been a friend, and how did she pass away?
She was a friend for years and years. Yeah, we roommated together for a while. She was a pretty good friend. Yeah. And she had been away for, I don't know, maybe 3 years or so. She'd been away for a long time. She actually finally came in and I did a tattoo on her. And then that was it. And then I didn't see her and I moved to California. I didn't see her for like 6 months. And I moved to California and she's in Arizona. So, and then I heard on Facebook what happened, you know.
What happened? Whoa. Well, what happened?
That she died. They didn't say what happened as far as like how she died, but they said that she had died. So that's where I learned that she had died at.
Well, was it like a fentanyl overdose? Was it domestic abuse?
No, she just went to sleep and didn't wake up.
What?
She was a mother. She had, you know, a couple of
kids,
actually.
Hang on. Did she was this recent where had she taken the kill shots?
No, this was in 2017. I think she died in 2016.
So it was not drug related at all.
No. No, I mean, she was taking medication. She had to get a brain surgery or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Which was because she had like seizures at points, you know.
Oh no.
And she had a big scar, but she was like so pretty, and she had this really long blonde hair, and I never knew she even had a scar on her head. But she showed me one time that she had to have brain surgery, which I thought that's fucking weird, you know what I mean? Totally, but because anytime you like the energy from like somebody cutting you, it's like that's a different, like almost a different realm of like magic or whatever over there, you know. So I'm just saying, it's really weird, especially in your brain too. But anyway, so yeah, but she was fine. I mean, she never acted like she had any brain anything, except for I guess she had seizures every now and again, which I really never even seen her have a seizure. So I don't know. Okay,
she was epileptic then, or what?
I don't know.
Yeah, I see.
I think it was from the brain thing, or maybe she had to have the surgery because of that. I don't know. She never said she had anything wrong with her. We just happened to be talking one time, and she mentioned the scars or whatever. Oh. I was like, "Oh yeah, you know, it's from my brain surgery." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah. Well,
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know.
It's and the death is a great teacher. I mean, it really, as is suffering, of course, you know, but. It's,
okay.
Well, don't you think? Like, I mean, death is.
I like to learn off everything, not just that.
But death is omnipresent. It's just think of the number of people that have died since we started the show,
or whatever you want to call it. So is like everything else is omnipresent.
Well,
So death is not, it's the same thing. And that's the thing I noticed after I had talked to her through the veil, that it was like anybody can talk to this. It's like when your loved one or whoever, if you're thinking about someone who died, they are right next to you. That's
right.
How it goes.
That's right.
That's why you're thinking about them.
Right.
They are there.
Right.
And that's what Brooke was trying to tell her husband, and her husband was so upset that she, and I had never met him before. So, but he knew who I was because of the tattoo shop. So I didn't really want to talk to him in the first place. Brooke told me, get on Facebook and, tell him what's up. And I'm like, well, I don't know your husband, because I was originally trying to find her daughter, because I needed to tell her daughter that her mom loves her, because that's actually what brought the connection on, I think, was the emotion I was feeling, because I was separated from my daughter at the time, and I got emotional, and I started thinking about how Brooke's daughter must really be sad, of her mom not being there no more. Wow, and it just like, wow, it just hit me, and that's when I heard Brooke, was when I started like crying about that, or feeling the emotion. So I think emotions are what connect us to that side, or the veil, through the veil, I guess you could say. Yeah, definitely. Because when I am talking to others, I've only done it twice. For Brooks, dude, and I was through text. It wasn't even like I was there seeing him. But then when I moved in over here in Arizona, I had gotten a roommate who had a little sister who died when they were kids. She fell in a well, and he's like been fucked up like ever since, and so I actually ended up talking with her. And when I was there and he was there, he at one point he touched my arm, and I was like, whoa, and it tripped me out, totally knocked me out of where I was at where I was communicating with her, seeing her and her guardians that were there, her mother and this other female guardian that was there with her, that they came up with her, and she was like bouncing around talking to Gary and stuff, and I was totally into it, and I was telling him what she was saying and stuff, and all that, and usually, I mean, I started like getting all like teary-eyed, of course, because it's emotional. It's what happens, and it's not like it's sad, but it's just emotion. It's like, I call it the grandma vibe kind of thing.
Probably draining too.
How you feel about loving your grandma? It's kind of like that kind of vibe, kind of thing. Or you see a pretty flower, it's like, wow, that's so beautiful. Grandma would, or that touching kind of feeling. That's really what it feels like when I'm communicating with them, at least. And it's very like, you could like start crying at any time. But anymore, usually when I cry about stuff, I start laughing. It's like a laugh cry that happens, which I always kind of wondered what that was back in the day. But David Wilcox's wife, actually, because when he started signing my hand, she was holding it and stuff, and he was like, signing, and they were all weird. She was like holding my arm, and I'm like, you really don't have to do that. I mean, they didn't know how to deal with something like that, but that was cool. And so I started laugh crying because, wow, I totally said I was going to do this shit, and I was going to have him sign my ass at first. But then I'm like, how am I going to tattoo that on myself? So I decided just to do it on my hand, right, like the last minute. And I don't want to show my ass to David and all them, you know what I'm saying? But because I had set it up through his wife to get to, to have him sign my hand so I could tattoo it on. And David was all like, excited because I was his first, which I don't know. He's like weird, I'm sure you guys can imagine. He's a little weird, so he's got shit turned around a different way, which is fine, whatever. And I'm like, no, dude, you're my first. I haven't done this. Actually, I did do that with the guy from that one Viking band. I forget the name, but anyway, that's beside the point. So the whole thing is that when I go, where was I at?
Focus.
Right there, right before David, it totally threw me off track. Huh?
Back to the original point.
Yeah. What was it?
Well, you tell us.
I don't remember where I was at before I said something about David. That's where.
Well, look. Let me just jump in for a moment, because necromancy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term or not, but that there are those who I do believe would argue, or at least try to make the case for the fact that what you were engaged in. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's just it's a very natural form of that some people historically. People such as yourself were known as sensitives. This is like over 100 years
I've
ago.
been
They're
called sensitive so many times.
sensitives.
It's really insulting, actually.
Really?
Gary called me sensitive one time. Oh, yeah.
Well, but...
It's like, you're too sensitive. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Do you know how much shit I fucking am aware of? And you're going to call me sensitive because I'm trying to communicate with your ass?
But you're
whatever, dude.
Well, but think about it. Also, crying, or you're not sure if you want to cry or laugh, right? So, but historically,
no, laugh, cry. It's a giggle. It's not like a ha ha ha. It's like a ha. It's like a giggle. It's really weird. I don't know what it is really still, but it's the same vibe. That's what it was. I was telling you about the vibe of when you reach over through the veil, kind of thing.
Ah,
yeah.
So necromancy is what it's referred to. We've had people in the past here self-identify as witches and Wiccans and so forth.
It's kind of a trendy thing. I mean, not that Wiccans they're into the earth and they have particular deities. Apparently, that's the surface of it anyway.
This is talking to the dead.
They have the feminine masculine thing that's a focus of what they focus on when they connect with the earth and things like that.
Well,
and like pagan type.
The druidic world.
I'm pretty sure I was a druid in one lifetime at least. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, I've been a guy most of the time. Or that I remember anyway. I'm sure I was a girl at some point. I could have been a guy in all these lifetimes.
Well, and that's the thing that I really do believe with the people who self-identify more strongly, and that they suffer with this body. I think dysmorphia. I'm not sure if I have the pronunciation right.
They've had so many lifetimes in a particular gender, and they're not transitioning. They're like, it's like, and they've probably got some fractals of themselves in those particular lifetimes too that they need to grab, and reintegrate and balance the inner feminine and masculine. It's not that it's wrong. It's just that's not a natural phenomena. It's more of a natural phenomena to just like sex with anybody than it is to like be one sex only kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Well, like, because sex, it should be based on the feeling anyway, the connection you have with someone, not like how it's like chopped up and shot out with like a machine gun here in this place. But it should be like you vibe with this person, so you get to where you're vibing so good you get it on, and then that's it. And then you don't like marry them or have to buy them a car or a ring or anything like that. You know what I mean?
You're talking whether they're male or
vibe with them, and then if you guys stop vibing, it's like, all right, see you later, man. Bye. We're hanging out.
Okay.
Maybe I'll see you again. That's how shit is supposed to be. Okay, It's supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like, let me, you're hot. Let's do it, and then like everybody you're supposed to marry them, and oh shit, you got her pregnant. Now you have to marry her because your mom and dad or whatever. That's bullshit right there. Just like the guy that was at the bar that was gay, that was pretending like he wasn't gay.
Are you suggesting?
That's how they're keeping humanity, that they're holding humanity back, at least one way, how they are. Because people are not allowed to be themselves. And if you can't be yourself, you don't know yourself, how the fuck are you going to ascend anything if you don't know yourself?
Right. No, that's true. That's an ancient proverb, know thyself.
Yeah,
exactly.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but are you...
It's very, very, very important, and too many people are not able to do that.
Right. That's very true. And because of the artificiality of society, with
the pressure from other people, all kinds of shit.
You can't do that.
They don't let up on the programming and shit like that.
Right.
But you know what? They can fuck straight the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because they don't control your mind unless you let them. You know what I mean?
Well, and
unless you buy the bullshit they're handing out. You know what I mean? Take a pass on the fucking programming en masse. You know what I mean? Like, say, fuck you, dude. You don't write my story. I do. Mm-hmm. And I just wrote on this page, see you later, motherfucker.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's
you
what.
You gotta buy their shit. I'll call that shit, dude.
The term, two terms, autonomy and government. Government meaning literally mind control, gubermente, and autonomy, self-naming. Auto-nom is French for name, so self-naming, autonomy versus government, where, I mean, who governs who, right? Do we govern ourselves, or do we have some external, well, you would hope, but it's not the way that Yeah,
What could you do?
look what it took in Canada and the Freedom Convoy. Do you remember
with their governingness that they have.
Do you remember the Freedom Convoy? Canada?
What? Sorry.
Canada's Freedom Convoy. The truckers.
Oh, that trucker thing? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It didn't take off very much, not in a big way via the States.
The way they did a lot of the stuff there, though, it makes me kind of feel like it's probably just to make people feel a certain way, like a distraction.
Well, nothing.
They don't ever do anything with one goal in mind. The one thing that happens, or is implemented or whatever, has at least like 2 or 5 or 10 other that's things that it connects with that they've already set up that work on humanity, basically.
Okay, so we're almost all out of time here, and you're exactly right. I'm down with most of what you're laying out, of course, and
you should get up with it because that's the way I'm going.
What do you mean? Get up.
Like I'm up for it instead of being down for it. Like I'm down for that. Like I'm up for that. You know what I mean?
I'm up. I'm down. I'm left. I'm right. I'm all over the place, man.
I just don't want to be down.
I'm through.
It was not easy getting back up. Okay, or up, whatever you want to call it. This place is a very, very difficult. In case you guys have not noticed. Okay.
You're talking about
a motherfucker here.
The world. Life as a human.
This place that this consciousness of where we're stuck at here. This place stuck or where we're at.
Well, but it's a great opportunity.
Well, sure, anything is if that's the attitude you go in with.
Well, but many of us we don't realize that we have to have someone explain that, and that's what it seems.
Right. That's why we're here for our brothers and sisters of the world, to help them, to reflect them. Everything around you is a reflection of you. Period. Everything is. If you're watching a horror movie, that horror movie is a reflection of you. That's just how it is. That's how like attracts like, and things are vibrating to each other, kind of thing. That's how you manifest. It's the whole thing. So, yeah, you know what I mean? And so if you that's my vote. Or, I mean, I don't even like vote. I mean, see, like all this language, like every concept we have is like fucked up, dude. It's like you fuck yourself up just saying hi to somebody. You know what I mean? You ever talk to somebody, like you meet somewhere, like at a store, or grocery store, or whatever, you talk to them for 5 minutes, and then like you leave and you feel all fucked up. You're like, man, that's not cool. Like almost like they vamped on your energy, like an energy vampire kind of thing or something.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, and that's through language. That's how that happens. At least in one aspect is through language.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And how you go about presenting yourself to the world or to another person, or how you interface with things, because that's what happens when we got ETs or whatever you want to call them, the dudes who are vibrating a little higher than us, I guess, or faster or whatever you want to call it. Then they're like, you can't really interface with them if you can't interface with like the neighbor or whatever, or the dude at the grocery store who like looks like George Bush all of a sudden because of your bill or whatever the thing is.
Okay. Joshua Huckle comment coming. There's a whole lot of comments, obviously, as you can probably see via YouTube in particular. If you read the Bible, he says, it tells us to pray not for the dead. They know nothing and are asleep until the second coming.
Well, sounds like the first part of the Bible. Is that from the first part or the second part? Because the first part was not written by God or anybody like that. It was written by dudes who are pretending to. Those are the dudes who are looshing off everybody.
Well, yeah, it's interesting as well too how we needed a New Testament. The old was not good enough. That
I don't know.
There was a New Testament that came along from who knows where exactly. I guess Christ led the way, and then Paul, the man who was in charge for a while at least with persecuting, hunting down, and ultimately killing Christians, that he ends up hijacking the movement, as it were. To me, that seems. I mean,
that's all just political theater, really.
Yeah, it's just a little odd. And Thomas Jefferson, he was like one of the first presidents I guess,
I
right?
doubt if all that's even true.
Well,
Anything in the past of the history, like the stuff with Tartaria and stuff. I mean, holy fuck! And just besides that, like the insights, if you just like you want to know what's going on, all you got to do is let yourself be insightful, because your spirit will tell you what the fuck is going on.
Right.
You know.
But the Bible, so Jefferson.
The
The point I was going to make was Jefferson's Bible, where what he did was he cut out everything that Paul had to offer. It was a pair of scissors. Took the scissors, cut everything Paul had said, and the miracles of Christ. Like, that's a little too much too. We'll just set that aside for now. But things like the Sermon on the Mount and other teachings that seemed to him more straightforward and less either driven by politics or muddied, because really that's for me, and I'm sure many others.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
What's that?
You know, I wasn't there. I don't know.
Well,
it's just what they say, and I don't buy nothing they say.
How do you know you weren't there?
Well, as far as I know, I wasn't there.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And if there's a part of me that is like conscious or a different person or whatever, that person is not telling me or whatever. So as far as this person knows, then I don't recall anything as such. But there again, I haven't looked at it. I could go look around and see, like in the ethers, and check out what kind of bullshit that is. But you know, it's an adventure doing that, and I'd rather not do that. I'm not interested in that part of things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like your past life or whatever. Sure, I'd take a look at that. That seems more natural to me. But I guess it's like remote viewing or something similar to that.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Right.
But yeah, you can kind of just feel something out and see. But as far as I know, what happens, they come in, it's like bullshit. It just comes in. I don't know. And that's why I said, if I really want to know, I'll go find out. But as far as I can tell now, it's bullshit. You know?
So
and I wouldn't be surprised either. So much stuff is like, what? They have technology that we don't even know about. Some of it we can't even like figure out what the fuck it is. We'd be like the 8-person or the back in the day, you know, when we see a fucking like a watch that is like a watch or something, we'd be like, what is that magic? You know?
Yeah, that's right.
We'd try to look at some of the stuff they got now and go, what the fuck? They're probably using it, I'm sure, actually, on everybody right now. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Look at Wi-Fi. I was going to mention drones,
That's
but just
gigantic
Wi-Fi. You know, in conjunction with the kill shots.
There's a reason why there's so many of those things around.
5G, 6G. I mean, where are they going to stop?
27th millionth G.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all just the theater, the G's theater.
Ramp it up. And what does that G actually stand for? So
exactly, what does it stand for? I don't know. Generation.
Freemasons love the G.
That rhymes with Freemason. Generation Freemason. No.
Yeah. So Stormy Daniels her claim in court, one of her claims, says Joshua here is to be a medium today, and that she talks to the dead. Well, I'm sure that's going to help her cause a lot within the eyes of the jury. Not. But what else do we got here? Something about a Ouija board I found rather... did we pass over that now, or what exactly happened? Great topic, says AWOL Aaron. I'll have to catch up.
Yeah, Ouija boards are not...
YouTube.
Because spirits are all around us all the time anyway. I mean, they're like right here, right now. I mean, unless you clear your space, they're around you, period.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. We think the thoughts we have are our thoughts. No, there's like a thought pool, and we share it with every being. And there's a lot of beings that we can't see. We can only see this smidgen, little tiny bit of like the visible light spectrum, so they say, you know. But you know, I get surprised because there's a lot of shit that happens that we don't see.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, we've been told it's this or that, so we believe it's this or that. Why would we not believe that? Because humans are trusting, loving beings, and that's what we do, kind of thing, for the most part, unless, you know, we get corrupted or possessed by something different.
Right. Look at the ancient, maybe you weren't aware of this, but classic Koine Greek term, we mention this here from time to time, eudaimonia, meaning literally the good demon within, aka happiness. It was just happiness is what it meant. Happiness, the good demon within.
That's getting you to be okay with the idea of demons. That's what that does.
But we do have a spiritual energy that needs. It's like the mind monkey. Monkey
That's
mind.
that's actually an attachment. The monkey mind is an attachment. That's not us. That's a being that has attached to a person's brain through the meridians, their energy centers. It's an energetic being, and it's actually it's like an automated type of thing, and it's where other dudes can come in and do what they're trying to do with you. They like have elaborate setups for people to get their energy from them, you know. If they think they can make them like really sad or really fuck them up somehow or whatever, they're going to be on them, you know. And they've got all kinds of little tools that they use to assist them with. But yeah, it's fucked up. That's why some people have like these crazy lives. You know, they're like, what is going on? And they, you know, strive so hard to find God within, or you know, whatever. It's like you gotta know what's your thought, what's not your thought, and what, you know, and just have a desire to know. If you don't want to know, you're not gonna know. It's just not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I found when I had that oneness experience. And then when David woke me up the second time, is because you have to want to know what is going on in the world. You know what I mean? You have to. If you don't want to know, then yeah, you're not gonna know. You're just not gonna have an awakening or whatever you want to call it. You know? You won't know, because that's just, you know, the same manifestation thing we were talking about earlier.
Operation Wake the Fuck Up. Did you put that together? Was that yours? Sounds like something you would say.
No, I found that, and I thought, wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, well,
although I have been wanting to start something like that.
And it's interesting too the way that term got hijacked. Woke. Actually, what for me at least, I'm sure many of our listeners, that it actually is quite the opposite.
They don't want people to ascend out of their realm. You know, like they want to have their little, you know, puppets and stuff. And there are puppets. I've met some puppets before. It's actually astounding. Maybe I'll tell you at a different time in the story, but holy crap. Like in that one movie with Denzel Washington, how they just pop into one person and now on the other. And they're like, hey, look at that. And I'm like, I see your ass, motherfucker.
I guess that's along the lines of what this discussion we were having, you know, just recently regarding, and I think Zane Ivy is hip to this whole business, walk-ins, as they're known. I'm sure you heard the term walk-ins.
Yeah, I have. I've heard that before, but I'm not real familiar with that so much. How I think about it, or how like the vibe I get, is that is something that I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't get how somebody could like forget like themselves. Do they not forget themselves? Like the person who left or whatever? I mean, I don't get how that works, really. I can't get my brain around that. You know?
Right. So, look, we're trying to wrap things up, wind things down here. We've had a lot of people are really having a lot of fun listening to the
good.
conversation.
I'm glad. I hope it was kind of, you know, amusing at least, or informative maybe, or fun at least. You know?
Yeah, get it. Yeah. You know, and your tarot, it sounds to me, I would love to, it'd be cool to have a reading from you.
Oh, I'd love to give you a reading.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And I'm sure there's many others. Like you say, do you ever charge for your time, or?
I don't really like read.
Just donations, even donations, really.
Well,
as you say,
whatever. If somebody wants to give me something cool, but I've never been like, okay, I'm going to read cards today, and if you guys want to give me a donation, go ahead. No, I've never actually done that, except for one of my friends a long time ago, chick I worked with, had my friend wants a tarot reading, and I'm like, okay, cool. Don't worry, she'll give you a donation or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know? Okay. She gave me $100. I was like, yeah, baby.
Okay. Tell you what, here's an idea. Since we're here, you're in the Arizona time zone. I'm not sure what your energy level is like. We're working on wrapping things up here. What we've often done in the past is the Rogues Gallery after show, and where we do open things up, welcome others into the mix. It'd be kind of like, I'm sure Roger would be open to join us. I'm not sure if that would be with others present, though, if that would be the best kind of format to have a reading done, and rather. No,
that's fine. Whatever. I mean, if it's not, we'll know. But I've never been in any situation where we have decided to do a reading, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to work.
Okay, so what we do with the Rogues Gallery after show, it's 1 hour. Now, it's not mandatory or anything. It's totally how people feel. I've got to feed the cats after we call it a night here. At least the main event.
All the time. So.
Pardon me?
for my cats, I leave the cat food down all the time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That'd be a pain in the ass to have to do that. Feed him, like, stop what I'm doing to go feed him. Or if it was part of my day. I guess it is. I feed him at night. Really late.
Right. Yeah, we feed ours typically 3 times a day. We got Danny here who he really...
Wild kitties.
He makes it known. He's a 3-legged mascot pirate kitty. He lost his leg in a car accident. He nearly got killed, run over.
Wow.
And an arm that he had to have reattached.
Wow.
So, yeah,
he's a special kitty then, huh?
Oh, he motors
What's his
around.
name?
Danny.
Danny? Hi, Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Yeah, he's quite a little character. He's very neat. He's laying with me here right now and curled up and very...
They're such assholes, aren't they? I mean, holy crap. I never intended to have a cat. This cat showed up on the front porch and was like half dead, you know? And I'm like, how did you even get here? How would this little baby kitten get across the traffic into my front yard, onto the front porch, and start meowing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have no idea. I think a UFO dropped off this cat or something, because there's no other way where he came from.
Kitty karma.
Yeah.
Kitty karma.
I always wanted an orange cat, so you know, I used to say.
Well, and that's what we had. Our 3 cats are all different. They're all orphans. Let's see. Hanging popped out of a pipe as a little baby. He was there stuck in a pipe for like 3 days and nearly died. But we adopted him through one of the expats here via South Korea. Second one was Danny, who was he was at the vets and had been under the care of the staff there. Nurses were all in tears when we left with him, but it was his time to go. They really loved him a lot. And the final one was Mandu, who showed up at our door. He was getting hit by the car. Mandu was right here at our apartment steps waiting for me one night. Yeah. I was coming home. It's like he walked right up to me. I was like,
3 of them, huh? Wow.
Well, yeah. It's like, hey, man. And so I gave him a little bit of some food, bit of my sandwich, and picked him up. And he seemed pretty relaxed, and it wasn't like he was anybody else's kitty or nothing. No bracelet or nothing. Took him in, and the wife said she was a little peeved at the time. She's like, "What? 3 cats? We can't afford." This is like the middle of the whole the scamdemic.
What are you supposed to do? Just leave him there?
Yeah, we can afford to house and deal with 3 with all the cat litter.
Cats pick you. You don't pick them; they pick you.
That's what they say. So
that in my experience, I agree.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, that's the story there, and they've all got their own unique character. Jackson Galaxy.
Their face, their face looks totally. Every cat's face is different, which I never noticed that.
Yeah, and behavior. The behavior is so fascinating to watch them.
It is.
Just watch, like, what's going on here? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? What do they need? What are they trying to tell me?
You ever had your cat look behind you when you're like in their face or whatever, and they look behind you and you're like, what the fuck are you looking at, man?
No, they see energy, I guess, don't they?
Yeah,
so
they do.
And
I went and looked at that, and I think it's like because they grow up seeing that sort of thing, so it's not like they're trying to. Because you figure, like, somebody moving fast through the room, a spirit or whatever it is, and they can see it, wouldn't they be alarmed by that or whatever? But I think it's because they're used to all that movement or action, so it doesn't, like, alarm them at all. You know what I mean?
Robert D. Morningstar, Joey Boomer,
I guess that's a no.
I'm sorry, that kind of, I just a little distracted here with a couple characters showing up late to the game.
I'm used to it. That's totally okay.
It's good to hear your voice.
That's actually part of my lessons I'm supposed to learn is like, make people listen to you kind of thing. It's, I can tell you stories. But anyway, go ahead, sorry.
Robert Morningstar saying it's good to hear your voice recovered. Thank you, Robert, and thank you everyone who sent their regards and best wishes. It really is frustrating, especially with singing and trying to do a little bit of music here. That singing.
Singing.
Pardon me?
You're singing?
Yeah, with the guitar,
really?
doing some music.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
I totally want to hear that.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll send you the link. There's some demo material here We got uploaded.
Oops, there we go.
And see, here's the thing. Look, we'll send you some music. You can maybe do a tarot reading where we can bring you on board, do an interview. Maybe you can do a tarot reading. It's like kind of a barter sort of deal.
No worries.
It's like,
Sounds great.
Work it all. What comes around goes around. But
I mean, it's fun reading cards and reading anything. Actually, when I was telling Brooke's husband the things she told me, which are, there's 3 things she spotted and like pulled out, and it totally, like, he found those things after we got off the chat or whatever. And he's like, okay, you might want to sit down or whatever. And he sent me pictures. I asked him to send me pictures of the things she was talking about when she was, you know, wanting me to tell him that she loves him and she misses him, and don't be so sad. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. And in any case, shit, I forgot where I was going with that one.
well, you're talking about Brooke and the necromancy, the channeling, essentially.
Necromancy is like, that is something that came from somewhere else that someone like invented, and because this is natural to be able to naturally, like, we're stuck in a place where we can't even use our whole brain. Our brain is suppressed, and they feed us information on what is going on. That information is wrong, and because of we can't see, we just, for whatever reason, we're not able to see everything. And necro, that's bullshit that they come up with because they're sick ass mofos, okay? And that's just how that goes, for sure.
What do you mean exactly?
That has to do with fucking with meat, like a meat suit, taking a meat suit and like fucking doing Play-Doh things with it. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? No, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Because when someone they die here, they're not here. They don't stay here, like in the physical here, obviously. Their body doesn't stay here either. It can't stay here because it needs the spirit, you know? So the necromancy has to do with unnatural things, like things that are not natural, you know? Like, it's not good stuff. Like, it doesn't feel good at all. It's like inverted, like reversed, and like with backwards and inside out. It's not something that I mean, I can't even say that because people can do what they want to do. That's the whole thing, is why we're here, is we're to choose what we want to do. Do we want to be an asshole and fuck with everybody and be mean to people and take advantage of them? Or do we want to like be cool and say, hey man, your shoe's untied, or whatever the thing is? Or, you know, your shoes suck. I hate your fucking shoes. Because it's also basically it's about expressing yourself with not worrying about what somebody else is gonna say or how they're gonna take it or whatever. Because that's when it becomes like inverted or reversed, like how they've done with the woke thing. It's the woke thing. Totally. Same bullshit. Same, and it's getting like, because our energies are changing, like our body, like the way we think about things, shit is different than it was like in 1992 or whenever. So our ideas are different. The way we communicate is different. And they are so like taking advantage of that stuff because most people don't even know there's like a change going on. You know what I mean? I mean, you might think something's different or weird, but I don't know that they know there's like a human spiritual growth happening with everybody in the earth and everybody. I mean, it's not just like one dude's getting smarter. We're all becoming smarter, or if you want to call it smarter, I don't even, you know, there's an acronym for that they came up with, but you know, it's not even about smarter. It's just about being more aware, like just growing into like a different, bigger reality. Is all it is. It's not like it's, and that's what David talks about with his ascension thing. That's what ascension is, you know, pretty much. From what I can see, that's what that is. You know?
I see. Well, and the whole spiritual warfare angle as well too. Let's not forget, both within ourselves as well as without, or at least what we perceive as external conscious phenomenon.
Right.
So, and that's the thing is, I often say, just forget about all the chaos and samsaric insanity that may exist out there. Go within yourself, cultivate go to the heart chakra, cultivate loving kindness, deal with the root chakra, raise that energy up as well, straight.
I don't even know about the chakras anymore. Seriously.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's like some sort of game they're running on us too. But I do know that when I first started moving energy or focus through my chakras, my whole world changed. You know, like my life change and shit like that. So, you know, there is something to that central energy. I just don't, you know, I tend not to like follow anything in particular, you know, so much so, or just don't prescribe to it, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like believe like in stuff really. I'm aware of it, and that's cool. If I come to know it, cool. If I don't, that's cool too, you know, kind of thing.
You sound like my wife. Yeah. My wife and her skepticism with so many things that I try to present to her, and in particular, as of late, it's been the man-made climate change business. She's heavily involved in Korean eco activities here on the ground via South Korea.
I'm not surprised.
Not surprised.
I mean, not to be rude.
No, well, no. Go. Not surprised. The what exactly?
That would be an involvement.
With the wife?
Yes.
Why is that?
I'm just because of the in the particular choice of intaking of certain things that have to do with what, you know, is not our agenda.
Okay, I'm not sure why my wife in particular, but yeah, that's her latest thing. She has a back, but the point is, it's hard to talk to her sometimes because of the way that certain things are presented, and she's just so kind of hard-headed and then closed off. That
I've met some dudes like, dude, I got a guy wanted to kick my ass. I didn't even know him. I was at my friend's house, and when I was gone, like to the store or wherever, my friends told him, oh yeah, about 9/11, she knows all about that stuff. And then when I came back, dude was ready to kick my ass, and I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are about. What happened? You know what I mean? And he was pissed because, you know, how dare I say that anything? And I didn't even say anything to him. I didn't even know him. But, you know, he's all over me because of what I apparently believe, or my friends told him I believe, or whatever. I was like, dude, calm down, man. And dude was a big guy. I was not going to fuck with him. I realized he was in a state of unconsciousness the whole time. He was like threatening me. And so I was like, you know, don't fuck with this dude, because I don't know this dude. He could smack me down and not even care. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm good, you know? And I was just like, I let him talk like forever, however long it was. And I was like, well, just keep an open mind. That's all I said to him, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's always,
people try to fight you and you don't fight back, like you don't tango with them, they really can't do anything. So he just kind of simmered down and left it alone.
Yeah, that is helpful, definitely. Yeah. So let's
heavy programming with that shit.
Really,
sure.
Because if you don't feed that energy, then it's as you say, it's not. Chances are it's not going to go much further. Zane Ivy dropping in. Zane Ivy in the comments section here talking about yet regarding Paul. Many of the early Gnostics claim Paul as their Sat Guru after Jesus.
Gnostics had gurus? I didn't know that.
Well, that's Zane's take or angle on things. Guru simply means from out of the darkness and into the light.
Right. Guru is also a word that has been weaponized. I mean, all words are weaponized. We were talking earlier about spells, but guru especially is a weaponized word that they throw around to, like, you know, make the converse, because they monitor everything. Conversations are monitored. And there's like, I mean, it's usually through the ethers, you know what I'm saying? There is tech too, you know, but they're trying to make that an ether tech. But in any case, so it doesn't really matter so much. It's weaponized. They take words and weaponize them. Guru's definitely one that's been weaponized. Anything you hear about Guru, check it out all the way around, because I bet you it's got some weird shit attached to it.
Mm-hmm. It's getting more difficult, says Zane here. Soon to survive, participation in negative systems will be required.
Yes.
And if you don't play the game, you're in prison. Right. If you don't play the game there, you're basically just going to be forced.
Right. Exactly. It's what you attract to yourself. It's what you got to do is when you go inward, like focus on how you, like your true, authentic, like, it's going to be different for everybody, but you could think like you're like a pillar coming out of the ground, like a pillar of truth or whatever, you know, and you're like raw, and you know, and because anything you do in your mind and your imagination actually occurs in the ethers. I mean, you could go in and punch, like picture some whoever, and punch them, and then go see them the next day and see how they feel about stuff. Just see if you can, like, does their jaw hurt, or you know what I mean? Shit's real there. It's real there. That's another way to manipulate people, is because they know this and they operate in these realms, and they have these little helper fuckers that live there. They have a team. Like I think they're just starts with a D or something. But those dudes go around and they work with them and work for them. So people don't even know that. It's like they don't have a chance, dude. It's like they're fucking 4 ways from Sunday kind of thing. I think there's a meme about that too.
Okay.
But seriously, it's like, what the heck? So yeah, and a lot, like you're saying, there's a lot of people's belief systems are all kind of different, so it's really, there's like a mind trap that they're putting folks in, basically. And that's where it all happens, is in your mind and your belief system, like your beliefs, because that shapes your world. You know what I mean? If you don't believe you're going to get the job, then you're not going to get it. I mean, there's a level of belief that's unconscious as well, though, too, that operates with your conscious. Some people are just totally conscious, period, and others are kind of like half or asleep and awake at the same time, kind of thing. I'm sure you've met people like that who barely kind of know what's going on. Like, hey, man, it's up, kind of thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, I mean, there's just different levels of consciousness.
True. Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
let's see. Prepare for impact. May 12th, several strong CMEs to hit Earth. Now, I'm not sure what that stands for. Maybe if we scroll down, we can see this. This is
I heard something about that.
of Joey Boomer, but this is one of the issues we were going to mention tonight. Just briefly touch on this. Said yes, in case people have not heard about this. So the story goes that some solar winds, extreme solar winds, and which could lead to potential have serious ramifications, implications for the entire electronic magnetic pulse.
No, that's going to happen when I actually get my website done. That's when the internet's going to go down. So you still got a little bit.
Well, they're saying this is in the next couple days, essentially.
Exactly how that should happen.
So, and you can see the likes of, Hyde and Biden, where something like this or another so-called black swan event is what he needs.
Trap word there.
Well, they need
black swan.
Black sheep. How about that?
Yeah.
Something.
I think the BS stands for BS.
Yeah. But who knows where this is coming from exactly, if the Earth is being directly targeted, if we're going to have some help maybe from,
I don't know.
we
definitely have help.
On a cosmic level, perhaps there'll be some efforts to shield or protect the Earth.
That's already been happening, I'm sure, from what I've heard. I mean, I haven't actually been there, so I don't know.
I know we've got overcast, clouded, completely blanketed skies here once again. It'd be interesting to know whether or not they were cloud seeding again last night.
Wouldn't call it cloud
doing
seeding.
It quite heavily here.
Just call it spray poisoning.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, and that's another thing. False narratives. They've spun it now to the point where it's we're just trying to help save the planet from global warming.
That's always the case. There's always a pity part involved in that's and then the shaming always kind of goes along in there somewhere to some degree. That's how you know who and what you're dealing with there. Shit like that.
I found a really great website last night and project. I think it's called Climate Event. I think is I'll get it in the chat end of things here in just the next few moments. But this guy is really extensive. Jim Lee, I think, is what his name is, and if I'm not mistaken, out of Canada. The guy he knows his stuff in a in a big way. We're just going to go through the history from what we
I
were
haven't with
acting
that.
last night. So let's just scroll to. Actually, we could just type in climate. I suppose that'll pull it up. But this
Oh,
guy,
yeah, that's wonderful.
it really blew. Oh, climate viewer. There we go.
Might as well.
And we'll let people have a look at that. This is just
Exactly.
mind blowing, folks. So get on top of
Actually,
this.
Probably more of a computer type thing that looks at it.
Get on top of this. Jump all over it, and let us know what you think. But we got a lot of we've reached the 100 comment.
The what?
You didn't drop acid or anything prior to us going live here tonight, did you? Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
That happened when I was 13.
Oh, okay. No magic.
That's one of the things,
Magic mushrooms. We're hoping you would. It's too bad.
Oh, I don't need to. I'm already. Can you tell? I mean, I don't need acid.
Naturally out there. So or in there, however you choose to look at things. But congratulations. Right. We've picked up 100 messages plus tonight with Restream chat. So great work there, folks. We'll get that out. What does
Restream mean? I see that. What does that mean?
It's the open broadcasting software that we use here. So where we met.
I'm new.
That's okay. Yet are Northern Lights visible in Iowa is what Joshua was telling us.
I heard that. That's crazy, huh?
Well, how about that?
Wow.
So we'll see how this all plays out. If the powers that be, I mean, any time there is anything of any magnitude, an event of any magnitude, they're all over it, of course, and do what they can to seize upon things where they can work to capitalize and maximize in support of their agenda, whether it's the left wing, right wing, or even chicken wing sometimes too, it would seem, depending on
how about angel wing?
That's a good one. Yeah, angel wings are. I heard
a bat wing.
Yeah, I really heard a great story from a girlfriend back in the day who talked about her. Actually, she was saved from driving straight off of a cliff. I think it was icy roads. She basically lost control. She was in a van with her kids, and she came right to the point where she was going to be heading over in the van with her children, and it seemed like from out of nowhere, apparently, these giant wings appeared. And
go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
the picture of Brooke.
She picked that. She told me that's the one she wanted me to put up there. I was like, really? Are you kidding me? She's like, yeah, because she looks really retarded. It's such a big smile right there. Retarded. I'm like, seriously, why you put the retarded one up? She's like, yeah, make everybody laugh. Trying to be
whatever
works.
Those
are the things she pointed out when she was talking to me in the bathroom.
Oh, right. So there's just one last comment here where I wanted to touch on, or at least just to bounce off of people. The blunderbuss. Typically it's they have super chats off of YouTube, but because those assholes demonetized us, and then they could even issue a strike with this show just for the hell of it. Frankly, anything that we've touched on to this point, it's like, no, you can't say this, can't say that. That's going too far. It's like. You don't want to let the cat out of the bag. God forbid the children know.
The computers decide that sort of thing, right?
The algorithms, I guess. Yeah, a lot of bullshit.
But then I'm sure there's somebody involved in it because it's too blatant and shit going on there for a minute,
So, okay, here we go. The dead are not in spirit forms, using Ouija boards to talk to us. Okay, maybe that wasn't as much of a comment.
I totally agree.
But the Ouija and Art Bell, that was, I guess, Art Bell. Yeah. And had you listened to Art back in the day?
Yeah, actually, when I met my first ex-husband, the UFO guy, he listened to Art Bell all the time, and I loved it. It was great. Actually, he was on Art Bell at one point. They called my house. I heard Art Bell like, Jeff. He was leaving a message on the answering machine. I'm like, that sounds like Art Bell. Jeff was in the shower. I'm like, oh my God, Art Bell just called our house. I went in there and got him.
Well, how
So he
about
did an
how?
interview.
Oh, so they actually did a feature show.
Yeah. Mhm.
And his name was it Jeff Willis?
Yeah, Willis. ES at the end. He's got UFOsoverPhoenix.com. So he's
Okay.
got all kinds of footage. He's been doing it his whole life.
Oh, okay. Are you
Yeah.
still on speaking terms?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, good.
We had a son, and we just it didn't work out
I
because
see.
there's other things going on.
I
He
see.
needed
You were
to
together.
experience.
How
Yeah.
many years were you together?
Like 3, I think, 3 or 4. Something.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that was that the hand fasting, or was that your second husband?
No. That was my second marriage. It was a hand testing.
How long did that one last?
That one was like 4 years, but we didn't get married till 3 years. And so like 7 years, and we went to work together, we went home together. We spent so much time together, and we got along great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's you and David right there. So you might have heard us actually a couple episodes ago. We were raising
This
kind
the
of.
forehead picture.
Pardon me?
That's the forehead picture.
It's a really good shot. Are you David's
See how
forehead?
big his forehead is? It's as big as his face.
He's got a
Pretty
pretty
much.
big. He's got an interesting head. The phrenologists
Yeah.
would have a field
He
day with
has
the
long
guy.
nails too. I think that's kind of weird for a guy.
The Ethiopian well-groomed man, the metrosexual. So yeah.
He just does that because the people or whatever.
The Ethiopian Bible is the oldest with 80 books in it. We'll have to look into that, Joshua. Thank you
Wow, that is
so
interesting.
much.
Absolutely.
Now, and so what I was going to say though, we don't have these super chats because of the YouTube having demonetized
Right.
us. We do have a lot of blunderbuss activity though. So
Blunderbuss.
but
That's the horn guns, right?
there you go. It's like the old pirate kind of
I used to
shotgun.
have one of those. But
Right.
the one I remember having, it wasn't a pirate. I don't think. I think I was like in like a war on the ground. I just don't picture a pirate being with a war on the ground so much, but maybe I don't think it could have been. Anyway.
Joey Boomer telling us that he looked into what they said about Kennedy and the kill shots. It's all BS. He's spot on, Kennedy is, but he's still a dipshit on some issues. That's Joey's opinion. Let us remind people.
He's not letting it loose. He's part of the game. I mean, he's part of the game. They're all part of the game. They don't let anybody on stage who doesn't have their lines. Are you kidding me? To some degree, anyway.
I mean, a lot of money.
Know they have a line, but
I mean, look at the money that he's needed. The money that has been required to get his campaign in place, and for him to try to get on the ballot in all 50 states. Shanahan is what is her first name? It's not Kelly. Danielle something Shanahan. Anyways, she needs to get out there and be more hands-on and proactive. If she were to, I would.
It's not even real anyway. I mean, we found that out like last time, didn't we?
Well, it's every time.
Everybody always said that, like all the old guys when I was growing up always said that kind of shit, but I'm like, whatever.
Every
I never was into that sort of thing.
Well,
but Trump was pretty fun. But it's like it's bullshit though.
The economy, the U.S. economy seems to be doing a whole lot better under big bad orange man. So yeah, it's quite a.
That picture is not. You got to take that picture off of.
Which one?
Unfortunate. The black one, the one that's on right now, up on the.
Well, I couldn't see it. The guy with the mask.
No, that's right before that one.
Okay, I didn't see it. My eyes
it's just
are all
a black
sore.
picture with a couple of flames in the black. It's
okay.
Because it's a PNG.
Last question there. Last question, and then we're gonna have to call it a day or a night, depending on which where you find yourself situated around the world. And let's remind you that the views and opinions expressed on behalf of the show's host and our guests do not necessarily reflect those of either the wider listening audience nor our show's sponsors. We should have issued that caveat disclaimer from the get-go. Moreover, YouTube, we're not here to offer any professional or formal legal, medical, or financial advice. So caveat emptor, folks. We recommend that you do the legwork on your own. Reach out to whichever either local professional or people perhaps elsewhere through the interwebs that you feel comfortable with, that can offer the sort of services and information that help you with whatever problem you may be having to deal with. So hopefully BoobTube heard that loud and clear, the algorithms and beyond, even into
Yeah.
the far out into the cosmic ether, as we've been discussing here
Yeah, there you
time and
go. Now
again
you're
tonight.
talking. Now
So
you're talking.
your UFO up close UFO experience. You've had countless, numerous. No, maybe
Countless.
not countless, but numerous. What was
I
this
can't.
one?
I don't know.
How many have you had? And what was this
A lot.
up close in person
Yeah,
experience?
so
How
there
did
was the
that all play
UFO
out?
across the above the neighbor's house before I got arrested that time, and I looked over and I seen it, and then I looked back at it was a school cop, and he said, "You're under arrest," and I looked back. Right, it happened really fast, and I looked back to see if he's seen the UFO too, because his vision was going in that direction, and it was gone. And I'm like, "Oh shit! I'm glad I didn't say anything. They would have thought I was crazy too."
Well, how long was it there for? How long did you?
Like a split second, I guess. I don't know. It's really weird the way you see UFOs and you don't see them. It's like a perception frequency thing that happens. You know what I mean? Because they're all over the sky all the time, and it's like we tune out to them. You know what I mean? That's how come one person can see a UFO and the other person standing next to you can't see it, kind of thing. It's like a frequency thing or something. It's very weird, but yeah. And so obviously nobody's seen it because he didn't say anything, and I was like, whoa. You know, I mean, it was fascinating. I was like, wow. I mean, I'd never seen a UFO close up, but you know what? I went to, like, in my mind, like, think of what it looked like, you know, picture it. And I'm an artist. I have very good visuals. When I'm talking to somebody, I get visuals. But in any case, it's like it was hollowed out, like it was blank on that one spot. It was like scooped out and I couldn't see it. Like when I go to look at it, it's like gone. So it's really interesting to kind of look at the interior part or the dynamics of how they do that mind wipe thing, because that's exactly what happened. I mean, why else couldn't I see I seen it? I know I seen it. I still kind of know what it looks like, but they couldn't get all of it out of there. But for the majority, it's like I don't remember the details, and I'm a Virgo like thing, you know, like details are my thing, you know what I mean? So it was just really, really weird. I like that picture. That was years ago. My favorite picture.
It's the green lady from out of. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's intense. Yeah. The art. Did you do
my
that?
Friend,
is that your artwork there? Tattoos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, free sleeve. I did. I gave that one away. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I was doing. That was before I knew a bunch of the stuff I know now, and I was doing like DNA stuff and little circuitry and all the where the crop circle symbols and stuff all through there. Pretty sweet.
You got a lot of talent. There's no doubt. Yeah, no doubt about that. So, good stuff. And so that's about it then, as far as the up close in person experience that you had.
It was gone. It was gone, and yeah. I mean, looked like a football kind of thing, like that blimp, kind of a blimpish look.
Just for a moment or two, then, is that right?
It wasn't even two. Yeah, it was like half one.
How many?
It was real quick.
How many other sightings have you had?
Oh, lots.
But have they been longer?
I was like by South Mountain in Mesa, and that's where me and Jeff had a house, was in Mesa.
Right.
We got a couple of really cool UFOs on film during that time too.
Really?
But, yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
I see them every day. I see them every day, all the time. UFOs. And then when we got a divorce, I hardly ever seen them. I'm like, that's peculiar.
Well,
that's very peculiar.
We've got the Art Bell archives here in our digital library, so we're going to have to search for the Phoenix Lights.
I don't know if what happened was they filmed a UFO out here, and that's why Art called. Because he was with this guy, the guy that made UFO Hunters was out here visiting us. But this is way before he made UFO Hunters. It's when we were all talking about doing it together. And so they did, it was like a UFO that skipped through the sky. I don't know what they called it or named it or whatever, but it would probably be under his name, which Willis's has an E on the end. It's ES instead of IS. So you probably have to search with his name. Chances are Phoenix Lights. I don't think he mentioned anything about that in the title anyway.
Also, it's Willis spelled like Wiles.
Yeah, like Willie's almost.
Okay.
But I asked him when I first met him. We met online, actually. Believe it or not.
Oh, the two you met online back in the day.
Yeah, I met Jeff online. I was looking for tattoo customers, and he was called UFO Hunter, and I was like, hey, you find any aliens? And I didn't know nothing really about anything really so much back then, except for that oneness thing I have.
All right. We just recently, Jaffe's Man Cave, I know you were talking about wanting to access some of the music that I recorded back in the day, and we got
that'd be cool.
Jaffe's Man Cave is the website that the link that we shared, and this is free to anyone. Although if you appreciate what we do,
I think I've been in everything.
People, anyone that is wanting to donate and help keep this operation up and running, sailing out here on these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, we could really stand to benefit from. And on top of all that, keep in mind that half of everything that we do manage to generate as far as donations go are redirected back to the grassroots. And that's where, if you've checked out Sonia, our homepage, we have the Operation Secret Santa link. We have an annual 10-day Christmas charity and awareness telethon, essentially, that we dedicate 10 straight days or nights to reveling in the Christmas spirit, Yule, and even this past year we even carried things on through to the Boxing Day in the spirit of Saint Stephen, who I guess is credited with starting that tradition back in the day. And now he ended up getting stoned, not in the way that we would hope if we were in his shoes, of course, but stoned to death with, I think Paul was actually present, is what some Bible scholars claim, and whether, and to the point where actually he even may have oversaw that the martyring of Stephen. So Paul, not a fan of Paul's in any way whatsoever myself, but anyhow, and I think that's about the extent of things, folks. We're planning on being back here again, I guess, late night in Korea, 11:30 p.m. is what we're looking at on that front. So, as far as Seoul, and
what'd you say? I'm not sure. What'd you say there? Go ahead.
11:30 p.m. Well, and we'll ask you. Yeah, it is a good idea if you can to mute yourself out when maybe at this stage when you're not talking. Yeah, people can see how there's a lot of bleed there in the background throughout the course of things. But that was fine because Sonia Galactec had a lot to offer, clearly. But yeah, we will be back at 11:30 p.m. this coming Monday evening in the Tokyo and Seoul time zones. Whereas, as always, with that particular feature production, it's early Monday morning, 7:30 a.m. for the early birds, early risers on the West Coast of the Americas, 10:30 a.m. if places such as New York, Miami, and Toronto are where you call home. It'll be followed up then with the Tuesday World Pirate Radio news segment, and don't know if we'll have a feature guest next week or not. We could. There's a chance that may happen. So, just looking at Sonia right now. I'm not sure if she's trying to get my attention or what exactly, but hey, we do have your contact information in the show description end of things, Sonia. Is there any final words or thoughts, comments, criticisms that you'd like to share with our listeners before we put this one to bed?
There's like 5 stories I think we've touched on that should probably be finished at some point.
Blog away. Maybe, follow up at some point. Yeah. Blog away.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You're not much of a news person. You're welcome to join us.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah. We typically that part of what we offer here in the live streaming, it's all free, of course. It's free and complimentary to the wider listening world, and it's a kind of I guess time, effort, and energy that we're putting together here, and hopefully over time we'll be able to. It won't be such a struggle just to cover the basic operating expenses. Let's put it that way. But
right.
You're welcome to join us with the news end of things. And once again, hopefully you and Roger will be able to connect, work together a little bit, getting your website some upgrades on those fronts and what have you. But we've got your contact information there, of course, and it's been a pleasure having you. So I guess any just final thoughts, comments.
Thank you very much. It's been fun.
That'll do it.
My first.
Yeah, we broke your live streaming cherry.
Yeah. Like David told me, you're my first.
Did you hear that? Maybe didn't hear. We broke your live streaming cherry.
Yes, you did.
So
Yep.
Blame it all on the Jolly Roger, which if you look at that, the British slang term to Roger.
Right.
Bang bang, to Roger. So the Jolly, it's like aha. So there we go. Bit of an inside joke for the pirates.
Yeah.
But,
sweet.
Yeah.
We get to that part, yeah.
It was a real pleasure. But maybe we'll have you mute out once again. You can hang around if you want.
Then thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So there we go. Cue up the outro here, folks. I think that about does it. Thank you so much for the really intensely active and engaged comments that everybody had to offer on a whole multitude of fronts via the Peanut Gallery, mostly YouTube, although DLive, X, of course, Facebook, and elsewhere. Joey Boomer saying she is hilarious. So definitely have someone that's a fan of your sense of humor here. So sorry that we couldn't get to everybody's comments and so forth, but what can you do? Our hands are tied, and we've got nearly not quite 3 hours of free quality content here for your listening pleasure. So Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is our email address. If you'd like to help us out in the PayPal front, or you happen to have show suggestions, guests in mind, or would like to become part of our email list, that's the way that you do things. It's really that straightforward. So having said all this, until we meet again via these high, often all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host, as always, the Robin Hood's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder, reminding you to, as always, keep your eyes to the sky and ear to the ground. Tally-ho!
I know. There we be. Having carefully looked over each of our navigation panel instruments,
checking every level, switch, dial, cable, knob, and pulley, by all accounts and indications, we indeed see it's time once again to drop anchor inside Mystic Bay.
Draw an end to yet another week of World Pirate Radio Live.
Remember,
if you're looking for a little more animated online action,
Keep in mind, we've likely got yet another great free-flowing Rogues Gallery after show
coming up for the next hour in one of our more premium, exclusive, and remote digital underground online pirate hideaways. Also, if you yourself have a new,
novel, intriguing, or otherwise underreported idea, unique individual, or pressing item in mind, be sure to either drop us a line directly over on WPRPN.com or fire us a quick email
via Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com.
We're always open to exploring fresh creative suggestions, intriguing guest ideas, cutting-edge discussion topics, and captivating themes.
Remember, WPRPN.com member site subdomain links are also always available.
Great for artists, musicians, podcasters, bloggers, social media personalities,
or pretty much just any old landlubber
looking to boost their online visibility, presence, and reach.
Basic personal profile accounts can be launched for just $60 per year.
Staking your claim now helps not only strengthen you and the network, we're also looking out for the little guy. That's right, folks. As much as half of all WPRPN's profits are redirected right back into the hands of the people who really need it most. Community charity. After all, we are the Robin Hood.
You can further embark on your own personal pirate journey by either liking, sharing,
commenting on, subscribing to, or just following us via virtually any mainstream social media platform, including Twitter, Facebook,
Gab,
or Minds.com. So don't forget to become engaged. Until we meet again out on the high digital seas, I'm your host as always, the ship's Chief Communications Officer, Jaffe Ryder. Tally-ho.